Shalom, shalom. Welcome to another edition of Maccabees TV. It's your brother, Priest Daniela, Lions of Israel, Maccabees Alliance Council. And y'all brothers and sisters, y'all see the title of the video? Y'all see the title of the video? We here, right? Spread the word. We're about to have a discussion that's been a white hot discussion for a while on social media. Everywhere I turn, I see this discussion raging all over social media, YouTube, Facebook, etc. So we're about to have this discussion live tonight. I got two good brothers on the line that want to have this discussion, and I'm here as a neutral platform to observe and moderate the conversation. So we're about to get started. Brothers and sisters, make sure you hit the like button as you come into the building, and make sure you share this on all your social media platforms because we're about to go in tonight. Y'all ready? All right, let's go. I'm gonna give it a little while, let people come in. Hit the like button, share, let everybody know that we're live, family. You heard?
This episode of The Lion's Den was brought to you by common sense. I can explain it to you, but I can't understand it for you.
Welcome to the Lion's Den. 144 men on the rise again. Yes. And you better show some intellect. That'll be the only way a nigga ever get respect. Real. Welcome to the Lion's Den. 144 men on the rise again. Yes. And you better show some intellect. That'll be the only way a nigga ever get respect. To you, Jeremiah. I'm finna bring the fire. Cause on the second turn, you don't crucify the Messiah. Roaring like a lion instead of being defiant. You better come together and try to form an alliance. Like Jesus minister, a new heavyweight champ. Finna turn the lights on instead of using a lamp. They try to keep up with us, but they niggas catching a cramp. Hebrew Israelites, now that's the name of the camp. That's a divine prospect. Shout out to the brother Ron. When they see the Hebrews, other ideologies run. And apologies come, forever calling us dumb. Bringing all of the facts and leave them silent and numb. So come, YiremiYAH, call up Allah. We got no problem, tell the truth and we follow. Got skilled debaters, like Michael Edwards. We never go run, PowerPoint, we run the lecture. Welcome to the Lion's Den, 144 men on the rise again. Yes. And you better show some intellect. That'll be the only way a nigga ever get respect. Real. Welcome to the Lion's Den, 144 men on the rise again. Yes. And you better show some intellect. That'll be the only way a nigga ever get respect. We see you talking down when you're doing your interviews. We got a multitude of knowledge, so how could we lose? Used to be in the game, so I give them the blues. Welcome to the Lion's Den, we deep when we face you. I know it's hard to understand your ancestors was a slave, but challenging biblical knowledge, homie, we get brave. Intellectually, I know you really hear me, you're standing right here next to me. Yeah, you gon' get this work. When the father don't spend his time, that mean he fit this curse. We the people like it or not, take a look at your block. The rising AOC, YiremiYAH, cause we got it on lock. Identified through our conditions, try to label us African without permission. Never laying down, tapping out, no submission. See us in the streets every day, we on a mission. Welcome to the Lion's Den, 144 men on the rise again. Yes. And you better show some intellect. That'll be the only way a nigga ever get respect. Real. Welcome to the Lion's Den, 144 men on the rise again. Yes. And you better show some intellect. That'll be the only way a nigga ever get respect. Real.
We get a certain type of treatment in the conscious community. We get a certain type of treatment in the conscious community of which you are at the forefront of, Sonetta. So what we're saying is that we want to have a dialogue and discussion about what is good for black people and what should we do within our community and our faith. Man, we wanted to have an intelligent conversation. Why don't you invite me on that?
So all praise to the Most High, brothers and sisters. Welcome to another edition of Maccabees TV. Once again, it's your brother, Priest Daniela, Lions of Israel, Maccabees Alliance Council, and you brothers and sisters see the name of the video. All right, we are having a discussion today about who are the Europeans today according to the Bible. All right, so on one hand, we have our brother YiremiYAH representing the House of Redeemed Servants. I'm going to go ahead and bring the brother in. The brother YiremiYAH representing the House of the Redeemed Servants. And we also have our brother Breezy, okay, representing a crew called Team Heretic, right? So I'm here as a neutral platform because there aren't many. So I'm here as a neutral platform to allow brothers to have this conversation. You brothers and sisters know this conversation has been white hot, raging all over social media, especially Facebook. I can see somebody post something about Esau, about the Europeans, and there's going to be about 500 comments on the damn video. So it's crazy. All right. So we're going to have a respectful conversation, brothers and sisters. My moderators, I don't want y'all throwing people out of the chat unless they are totally just being totally 100% disrespectful. I'm asking for y'all to make sure that the people in the chat are respectful of both brothers on the platform. If somebody's being disrespectful, time them out. Okay. At the end of the show, I'm going to take calls and I'm going to take comments and questions at the end of the show. Okay. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start off by allowing our first brother YiremiYAH. I'm going to give you about 2 minutes. I want you to do a brief introduction, tell the people who you are, what is your premise in this debate, and then we'll go to brother Breezy after that. So go ahead, man.
Come. First and foremost, man, I want to give all praise and glory to Abanawi Yahweh Shema Mashak Yahushai, to the Most High and His Son. We do all things for the glorification of the restoration of the nation of Israel, and this is our purpose, right? I'm the leader of the House of Redeemed Servant located out of OKC. I'm also in Torah Law Enforcement in the YiremiYAH Banya Council of Officers, and I am also a part of the Lions Den. So shout out to the Lions Den and the Light Magazine and all you brothers and sisters that are supporting the movement in sincerity. And we're doing all that we can to raise the level of consciousness for our people, children of Israel, right? So we are boldly standing against any naysayers, and we have the confidence that our information will hold against any naysayers that comes against this truth. We believe this with our heart, and we do the work scholastically to defend this truth. We're going to be bringing forth some strong, powerful information tonight, man. So stay tuned and, take notes. And we're looking forward to the outcome of this discussion. I yield the floor.
It's on you, bro. D Breezy, go ahead. It's on you.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. All right, shalom. All right, shalom, family. All right, my name is D1, or they call me D Breezy. I'm a former, what you would call Hebrew Israelite. I've probably been up in the game studying for probably 5 years now. So what I'm here to do today, I appreciate brother YiremiYAH for letting the brother Daniela for allowing me to be on this platform, being that I'm a nobody. I would say that. I just study, try to bring forth truth the best I can, best of my ability. And today, all I want to really do is just kind of fix the confusion concerning the Edomites and also Japheth. So that's basically the two topics I'm going to touch on. And basically, I just kind of, my premise is that I believe that the Edomites are the Bedouin tribes, and Japheth is what we would call the European nations of today. So with that said, I yield the floor.
All right, brother. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. So, just to bring everybody up to speed that's watching, first of all, once again, if you're watching the video right now, I'm asking everyone that's watching the video to do two things for us, okay? We're having a very, very important conversation. So the first thing I would ask everyone to do is to please hit the like button on this video. And the second thing I would ask brothers and sisters to do is to share the video, especially if you know that this is a topic that you've been having conversations with others about, or you see it raging on social media, you can bring other people in so that they can watch the video and they can be edified by both sides as well. And hopefully the Most High can allow them to come to a understanding. Okay. So just to let the audience know the way that we're going to be doing this. So the way this debate is set up is it is going to be 3 rounds of 10 minutes apiece. Okay. So it's going to be 3 rounds of 10 minutes apiece. Then the last round is going to be a rapid fire round where the brothers can ask each other questions. And afterwards, I will go ahead and I'll look in the comment section. And if I see any questions that you brothers and sisters have concerning the topic, then I'll go ahead and I'll ask the combatants the questions. Please be sure in the comment section that if you are addressing a question to a particular brother, right, whether it's Brother YiremiYAH, whether it's Brother D1, that you tell me who your question is addressed to so that I can ask the appropriate brother, okay? All right, so with that being said, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started. So we decided that with this debate, Brother YiremiYAH is going to go first. So I have my stopwatch set right here for 10 minutes. So on my count, Brother YiremiYAH, I'm going to bring you back in. And once you begin going, I'm going to start your count. You got 10 minutes. I'm going to mute my mic, and your time starts now.
All praise and glory, man. So listen, there's a lot of confusion concerning Esau, whether Esau is the Arab, whether Esau is the white man, whether Esau is of the seed of Japheth, right? So for those who are on the side of Esau is the Arab, then Esau can't be Japheth and the Arab, right? So who is Esau? And why, when we look in the scriptures, we see only one person, meaning his color or his appearance being described. You do not see this with Japheth, nowhere in the scriptures. All right, so we're going to go into the Bible to justify these things because contrary to popular belief, I believe also that Esau is the Arab, but I also believe Esau is the white man. All right, so when we go into this information, I'm going to be proving this tonight that he's the Arab and he's the white man. All right, and so there's confusion concerning it because we're talking about those that are at the very top, right? And usually they are of lighter pigmentation. This is factual, right? So when we go into Genesis chapter 25, we have to look and see this description that's being laid out here, right? So we're going to go to Genesis chapter 25, verse 25, and it reads, "And when her days was to be delivered, were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment. And they called his name Esau." Now, one thing that we have to pay attention to is that the scripture says that that he came out red. Now, the confusion is because you have this word ruddy being described on King David and this being described in other places of the scriptures. But when you go into the Hebrew, there's only one word for red, but yet there's a multitude of different variations of the color red. So if we look at red in the description which is being given, it says very clearly, "And the first came out red all over like like a hairy garment." Now, if we look at the garments that were being identified in antiquity, we have to take a look at the red, something that was red and that was hairy. So we want to go to Exodus chapter 26, verse 14. Exodus chapter 26, verse 14. You're going to find out that the temple, right, the tabernacle that was created in the wilderness had red in the tabernacle, right? And so it's very important because it's describing itself. The scripture is describing itself. And so what red are we referring to? Red like a red heifer cow? Red like a light-skinned brother? What kind of red are we referring to? Exodus 26:14. Exodus 26:14, and it reads 26 and 14. And it reads, "And thou shalt make a covering for the tent of ram's skin dyed red," right? "And a covering above with skin." So look, I'm going to give you an example of this, right? Give you an example of this. Let's see here.
right? Let's see what we have here. One second here. I'm going to share my screen with you all. I want to make sure that I have what I want to share with you all so you can see this in live and color. All right. So, Danielle, I'm going to share the screen. Share my screen real quick. Also, the thing that was that they dyed the ram skin with was crimson dye, which is of a crimson red worm of the female stock. Let's look here. Hold on, let me get back to screen. All right, I'm gonna share my screen. All right, so as you all can see here, you're gonna see the tabernacle being covered in red, right? So this was that like a hairy garment, red like a hairy garment. So if you, as you all can see here, this red is in which it was referring to, this color red, right? Not like a light-skinned brother, but it's referring to this color red. All right. So as you read on here, and it says in Genesis chapter 25, it goes on to say, let me get here. Genesis chapter 25. Let me go up to the 23rd verse. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one shall be stronger than the other, and the elder shall serve the younger. A lot of people are confused about whether or not can 2 black parents have a white child. But yet I'm going to share my screen again. I'm going to show you some modern examples of this happening, right? So can 2 black parents have a white child? Let's see, right? Let's see, family, what we have here. 2 black parents having a white child. I hope you all can see this. 2 black parents having a white child. Notice the hair on the child, right? Notice the hair on the child. So now I'm going to go on. It says, and behold, let's go to the curse in Genesis chapter 27. And Jacob said unto Rebekah, his mother, behold, Esau, my brother, is hairy, and let me go back here. Esau, my brother, is hairy, is a hairy man, and I am smooth. My father preserveth presumptuously will fill me, and I shall seem to him as a deceiver, and I shall bring a curse upon me, and not a blessing. Verse 13. And his mother said unto him, upon me be thy curse, my son. Only obey my voice and go fetch me them. And he said, and he went and fetched and brought them to her. Right? What did he fetch? Jump up to the 9th verse. Now, go now to fetch to the flocks and fetch me from thence 2 good kids of the goat. Now, why is this important? I'm going to share my screen again. This goat is letting you know of the type of hair that would be on Esau. What type of hair would be on Esau? Right? Let's see here. Let's see. Taking up my time, but it's very important that you all see this. Right? Fetch me 2 kids of the goat. Right? Of the goat. As you all can see here, the children of Israel was likened unto the sheep, and the white man, the Esau, was likened unto what? A goat. Look at the hair and the difference in the texture of the hair, brothers and sisters. This is a goat, and this is sheep hair, right? Can y'all see the difference? Can y'all see the parallel? The scripture is speaking to you, brothers and sisters, that you can see these things clearly, right? So now we have a physical example of the description of Esau. His hair was likened unto the goat, right? So now, as we go into Genesis, as we go into the book of Obadiah, it's very important that we understand that the way we're identifying these people is through the characteristics of these people. This is how you and I know that we are of the children of Israel, is through what? Characteristics. These things are very important. So it says here, it says, Salah. Obadiah chapter 1, verse 1, it reads, the vision of Obadiah, thus said the most high power concerning who? Edom. Concerning Edom. I'm going to drop down to the third verse. It says, the pride of thine heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest with the clefts of the rocks. The clefts of the rocks. Why is this important? Because Edom, their land was Mount Seir, right? Their land was Mount Seir. And later on, you're going to find out that they also was pushed into the Caucasus Mountains. This is why white people call themselves Caucasian, all right? We're going to get the information of how they got there, right? Under the Khazarian Empire and what took place within the Khazarian Empire, which I'll be bringing forth in my second round. It says, that though they dwelt in the clefts of the rocks, whose habitation is high, whose habitation is high. Who was the first people to create skyscrapers, brothers and sisters? Let's see here. We're going to go share my screen again so you all can see this, right? Who was the first people to deal with skyscrapers, right? Let's look here. It says in 1880,
YiremiYAH.
In Italy.
Hey, YiremiYAH.
Yeah.
Your time is up. I'm sorry you couldn't hear me. I was saying that you're 10 minutes and 30 seconds, which I have to give the brother the same. So you want to wrap up that thought, and then I'll give you the same amount of time. So go ahead, YiremiYAH. Wrap up this quick. I'll give the brother the same amount of time.
Yeah, no problem. What I was just bringing out, brothers and sisters, was letting you see that the first skyscrapers was made in Italy, and it also continued on where? In Chicago and in New York. All right, these towers were built in the 19th centuries. So it says who habitation was high, right? And I yield the floor there and come back on my second round with the rest of that, man. So thank you for that.
Okay, all praises. So, Brother D1, I'm going to go ahead and add you in, right? So now YiremiYAH went 11 minutes and 15 seconds, okay? So you went 11 minutes and 15 seconds, Brother D1. So I'm going to go ahead and bring you in, and I'm going to give you the same amount of time, 11 minutes and 15 seconds. Whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and get started. The floor is yours, bro.
All right, shalom, family. How y'all doing? All right. First of all, yeah, that was a lot of stuff that wasn't actually presented right. But let me go ahead and go in. All right. I have to start basically with Esau. Genesis 25:25. It says, and the first came out red all over like a hairy garment. Okay, people. First of all, you have to understand Hebrew. Okay. Second of all, you have to understand context. This is very important. Okay, reason why. What Strong's Concordant numbers is used for red? H132. Okay, red is also interchangeable with ruddy. All right. The root of H132 is H119, which is Adam or Adam. So if we want to sit here and say Esau came out red or looking like a white man, by default, we can call Adam a white man. We can call David the white man, which is red and ruddy is interchangeable. It just depends on how the translator wants to translate that scripture. They can translate that scripture also reddish. Okay. The context of that scripture is concerning Esau hair. By default, we can also say Esther, which was described as ruddy, which is a reddish color, is a white woman. We can also say King David is the white man. Okay, so that's faulty. And let me give you the works of Josephus. Okay, who is Josephus? He is a historian. Lived from, I think, 30 Common Era to about 100, somewhere around that time frame. He started writing about 60, 65 AD, somewhere around there. Okay, let's see what Josephus has to say, because they were more closer to original school of thought. So let me get this is book 1, chapter 18. Josephus said, and according she, in a little time, as God had foretold, bore twins, the elder of whom from his head to feet was very rough and hairy. In Hebrew, Esau means hairy. That's why the context is red like a hairy garment. It's referring to his hair. It has nothing to do with his skin complexion. Okay, he was very rough and hairy, but the younger took hold of his heel, and they were in the birth. Now the father loved the elder, who was called Esau, a name agreeable to his roughness, for the Hebrews called such a hairy roughness Esau. All right, this is Josephus, book 1, 6, verse 270. Now when the supper was got ready, he took a goat skin and put it about his arm. It's talking about Jacob, that by reason of its hairy roughness. So this is speaking of a goat with a hairy roughness, not a goat with like the pictures that was being shown of a goat with I guess we would say white people type of hair. He might by his father be believed to be Esau, for they being twins in all things else alike, differed only in this thing. So Josephus says the only thing different between Jacob and Esau was the hair. All right, let me about this. Greek Septuagint is time frame somewhere around 300 BCE. There is a missing verse. Everybody know Job would have been a black man, okay? Just from the dating of the book of Job. The book of Job is considered to be one of the oldest books of the Bible. Job is Jobab. He is an Edomite. Okay. Another thing is very important. Job is 3 friends. He's hanging out with Bildad the Shuhite. He's hanging out with a Temanite. Okay. Job lived in the land of Uz. If you go into Lamentations, I think is chapter 4, verse 20 something. It says, behold, the daughter of Edom in the land of Uz. Uz is Edomite territory. Okay. Job is Jobab according to the Septuagint. Okay. Job is hanging out with Arabian people. Bildad the Shuhite in Genesis 25 is from Keturah's sons. Okay. Sorry, I had a call from Keturah's sons. So you got Shua, which is the Shuhite. So the book of Jubilees, if you go into chapter 20, it's the last couple verses, 13, 10 through 13. Let me find it real quick. Matter of fact, I'm on it. Lucky me. This is very important. You have to understand this. These are Arabian people. Okay. It says, verse 11 through 13, the book of Jubilees is dated to about 140 BC. So it's pre-Christianity. Okay. He gave Ishmael and his sons. Ishmael is not the only Arab. The first Arabs in the scripture was Joktan. There's many Arabs in the scriptures. And sons of Keturah and their sons went together from Paran to the border of Babylon and all the land that is toward the east facing the desert. These mingled, intermarried each other, and these were called Arabs and Ishmaelites. So Bildad the Shuhite is from Keturah's sons. He is one of Job's friends. All right. What is another black Edomite in the scriptures? Let's go to 1 Kings chapter 11. How much time I got, brother? I want to try to get this one out. 1 Kings chapter 11.
No, you good. You only at 6 minutes. You got another 5 minutes to go.
I'm a bad boy then. All right. Understand context, people. This was a royal Edomite that went and hid in Egypt. He was running from David, the Israelites. So you have to ask yourself this question. Why would this Edomite run into Egypt to meet black people, and he's running from black people if these people were so-called a Caucasian race? People, you have to raise questions about this stuff. Yahweh raised up an adversary for Solomon, Hadad the Edomite. He was one of the king's offspring in Edom. For when David was in Edom and Joab, the captain of the army, had gone to bury and slain, had struck every male in Edom, for Joab and all of the Israelites remained 6 months, and had cut off every male in Edom. Hadad fled, he and certain Edomites, and the father's servant with him, to go into Egypt when Hadad was a little child. They arose out of Midian and came to Paran, and they took men with them out of Paran, and they came to Egypt. And Pharaoh, king of Egypt, who gave him a house, he gave this Edomite a house, appointed him food, gave him land. Hadad found great favor in the sight of Pharaoh, so that he gave him as wife the sister of his own wife, the sister of Taphanes, the queen. So he was given also a royal Hamitic wife. So when David slept with his fathers, this is verse 21, Joab, the captain of the army, was dead. Hadad said to Pharaoh, let me go, that I may go back to my own country. So this Edomite was clearly melanated, and he was hiding from David, the Israelites. Okay, another thing I want to touch on, okay, Esau's prophecy, one of Esau's prophecy is the fatness of the earth. If you go into the Strong's Concordance, fatness means oil. Okay, this is very important. I'm going to touch on this later, and I'm going to bring this back later. And another thing, we can't just take something like a tabernacle and say red. We know people don't look red like dye. Okay, we can go to the book of Numbers, which is 19:2, where the Israelites was told to take a red heifer. That is a brown animal. Red means brown in the scriptures, people. The word for white or pale would be Laban. All right, and let me give you the definition of ruddy real quick, because ruddy and red is interchangeable. All right, this is the Zondervan, because I know everybody got this. Okay, a word used to refer to a red or fair complexion in contrast to the dark skin of the Hebrews. All right, so that's what ruddy mean, people. And the book of Obadiah, I got to go deep into that too. All right, the book of Obadiah is the Babylonian captivity. Listen well. This is the Babylonian captivity. The scripture where it says the strangers that stood afar. Okay. When Esau was rammed, when the Babylonians was taken down, the first temple of Jerusalem, the Edomites actually was the people who helped the Babylonians. Okay.
2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes. Go.
Okay, good. All right. Let me give you this scripture. I think it's Obadiah. I can't remember. It's verse 1, probably like 5 through 8. Okay. Well, the strangers stood afar. If you go to Psalms, I believe it's 137 or 135, where it says, down by the rivers of Babylon we wept. Okay. Where the Edomites, the last verse say, the Edomites said, raise it, raise it. That's talking about burning the first temple of Jerusalem. If you go into 1 Ezra 4:45, it says the temple was destroyed by the Babylonians and the Edomites. And let me also give you the book that, this is the book, a visual guide to the Bible, okay? James C. Martin, John A. Beck, and David G. Hansen, okay? They tell you the Edomites, in context to the Babylonian invasion, these highlanders celebrated Judah's demise, seized assets. And again, the 49:6, Edom rise from the plains. It's speaking about the mountains reaching elevations that exceed 5,600 feet. From the perspective of those who live below, these were people who made their homes with the eagle's nest. Jeremiah 49:16. People is speaking about a military defense. To get through Edom, it was a small passage. These Edomites were up in the mountains. They could pick you off. That's why Moses was told to don't go if the Edomites don't let you through. Go around, because the Edomites would have slaughtered the Israelites. These are the mountains of Edom, people. Heights of 5,600 feet. This is what it's talking about. Obadiah. Even though you make your nest among the eagles and the stars, I will take you down.
Time.
All right. Shalom. I'll yield the floor.
All righty. So that concludes round number one. That concludes round number one. At the end of the debate, brothers and sisters, we're going to go ahead and put it in the chat. I'm going to want to know who you brothers and sisters feel like, won this debate and gave the best information, as well as I'm going to want your questions. So don't forget, that when you're asking your questions in the chat, which I'm not looking at the chat right now, but when you're asking your questions in the chat, when I ask you for your questions, make sure you tell me who you're addressing your question to. I will let you know, YiremiYAH, you about to go, that I just got a call from our good brother Sarnetta. So he's got the first question. So I'm gonna call him back when it's time for us to open the floor. He has a question for you based on your first round. Okay. So with that being said, YiremiYAH, I'm gonna go ahead and bring you back in. And hold on a second. Let me reset my clock here. And whenever you're ready, YiremiYAH, the floor is yours. Go for it.
Come through water. I want everybody to pay close attention. Notice that that man did not speak anything about the hair or the texture of the hair that was made mention of. His mother, Jacob's mother, asked for a particular type of animal. Okay, and I showed you the animal, right? I showed you the animal and I showed you the difference in hair texture. This is very important, man, right? So I want to share my screen. And notice he never proved anything about the white man being Japheth. Where's the description of the white man in the scriptures? Where is the description at? He don't have none. Why? Because it's not there. I'm going to share my screen real quick. All right, this is so-called white man here, right? This is the white man. What color is this? What color is this, brothers and sisters? I just want to know. Look at these guys, man. Look at these guys, right? It's something different about these people. It's something different. King David, when he was born, there was no description given of his birth. When any other Israelite was born, there was no description of his birth. But guess what? There was a description of Esau's birth, brothers and sisters. If we're going on the Torah, it tells you that he was red all over like a hairy garment, right? So now, when we go back into the book of Obadiah, when it says, thou shalt exalt thyself as the eagle, we know it was a movie that just came out a couple of years ago called The Eagle. What was it about? Rome. It was about Rome. So we want to see the distinction in the parallels of Rome, and we want to go into AD, into the Dark Ages, so we can see any connections, right? So there's a few books I'm about to go into. One of them is this. What does that say, brothers and sisters? What did that say? The Roman Empire, the Empire of the Edomites, 1853. We're going to go into that book. I'm also about to go into Arthur Koestler's The 13th Tribe. Now, why is this important? Because we're going to get a distinction here in history, right? We're going to get a historical example of two types of people, right? So first one I want to go into is the 13th tribe, and I want to go into page 22. Page 22. What is it saying here? Right? It says, remember, I said the Arabs are mixed with Edom, right? So it says here, Arab history traces the origins of the Khazarians back to who? Japheth. So that means that the original Khazarians were traced back to Japheth, third son of Noah. Japheth movement and rescue frequent and literature, while other legends connect them with Abraham and Alexander the Great. As I drop down here, it says it mentions the Khazarians in a list of people who inhabited the regions of the Caucasus. Other sources indicate that they were already much in evidence a century earlier. It says the Byzantine Emperor Thaddeus II sent ambassadors to Attila, which included a female by the name of Salakia, a former by the name of Priscus, right? Priscus. He kept a mute account not only of the diplomacy and negotiations, but also the courts going on in Attila's banquet hall. He was in fact the preferred gossip columnist of, and is still one of the main sources of information about the Huns' customs.
But Prisca also has also tells us about a people subject to the Huns, whom he calls Akata, or Salakia, Khazarian or Assyrian. That is very likely the Khazarians, or the white Khazarians. What color? The white Khazarians, distinct from what? The black Khazarians, right? So what we have here is we have evidence of two types of people in Khazaria. We have one black, one white. The end result, brothers and sisters, if we reverse history, the end result of the people known as Khazarians is these people here, the white people. So if these white people are the end result, that means that the black Khazarians had to be the original. As we look and as we read about here, it says Prisca tells us and tries to win over this warrior race over to his side. But the greedy Khazarian chieftain named Kindred considered the bribe offered to him inadequate and sided with the Huns, right? So that means that that warrior class, that second class citizens, was the white Khazarians, thus linking in with Attila to join in to take down the original Khazarians. I'm going to jump over to page 20. At the second paragraph, it says, black-haired and are of two kinds, one called Kara Khazarians, the black Khazarians, who are swarthy on deep black as if they were a kind of Indian, and a white kind of AK Khazarians, who are spectacularly handsome. This is what the book says. So what we're seeing is in the 13th tribe, we're seeing two sides, one black, one white. The warrior-like class joined in with the Huns to take down the original Khazarians, which was the black Khazarians, thus noting that the Japhetic people that they were linked to are black. That means Japheth is black, right? And that warrior class that came in secondary, that warrior-like class was white. So as we can see this parallel in the book here. So we jump over to page 25, and we're going to see something here, a connection of the Khazarians to who? The Romans. Watch this. It says here, Prisca's Chronicles confirmed that the Khazarians appeared on the European scene about the middle and fifth. Oh, that's not what I want. Page 29, Salah. Page 29. It says here, at one stage during the 15th year of the fighting, the Khazarians overran Georgia. We'll drop down to the middle paragraph. It says that the Roman emperor assumed a triangle from and through another dynasty alliance when the heir to the throne was married to who? A Khazarian princess.
2 minutes.
Son to the Roman. He was the son to the ruler of the Byzantine Empire. That's it? 2 minutes?
No, you got 2 minutes left. 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Okay, con. Now, how does this connect to Esau? We're about to bring this thing on home here. We in page 28, right? Page 28, it says, from a distance of more than 1,000 years, the period of intervening warfare that followed the so-called Second Arabian War of 722 through 37 looks like a source of trade and epic on a local scale, following the same perspective pattern. The Khazarians cleverly in their heavy armed broke through the path of Darius or the gate of Duban into the capitalist domains to the south, following the Arabian Central.
Then it says here very clearly, it says, and the nobles, the dukes of York, who had 10,000 men, he marched them up. Now, why is he calling them the dukes? When you go into Esau, when you go into Genesis chapter 36, very clearly. Genesis chapter 36, and it reads about Esau. What does it say about Esau? Notice it said the dukes, right? Genesis chapter 36, and it reads, Genesis 36, and it reads, verse 10, 36 and 10. These are the names of Esau, Eliphaz, the son of Avon, Adad, the wife of Esau. When you drop down to the 15th verse, it says what? These were dukes of the sons of Esau, the son of Eliphaz, the firstborn of Esau.
Time. Yeah, that's time.
All right, come.
All right. All praises to the Most High. Mute your mic, YiremiYAH. All right, brothers and sisters. So once again, if you're in the building, I'm asking brothers and sisters to hit the like button, share this video, subscribe. Feel free to comment. I'm looking in the comment section, and it looks pretty split down the middle, which is what I see on Facebook anyway. You have a camp of brothers that saying the white man, Esau is the Arabs, and a camp saying that Esau is the so-called white man, which is the camp I come from. But I'm moderating the debate, so it's not about my opinion today. So with that being said, Brother D1, you're up. We'll report you back in. All right. Unmute yourself and show yourself.
All right.
And let me just mute myself, and the floor is now yours. Go for it.
All right. All right. Good stuff, brother YiremiYAH. YiremiYAH, I'm sorry. Big ups, man. But I'm gonna get you now. I told you I'm a bad boy on Esau. Let's get to, first of all, people, you have to understand something. Esau is constantly, or the Edomites. I will touch on Japheth. Don't worry about that. I'm going to give you the information on Japheth. First of all, people, Ashkenaz, which is one of Japheth family trees, that word in Hebrew means German. Okay, so those people came from Japheth, according to all scholars and sources. That's what you're going to see. Okay, Esau's locations is very important in this book. People, all of Esau's locations is Saudi Arabia or the Jordan area. You found 49:20, Mount Seir, Deuteronomy 2:29, Timon to Dedan, Ezekiel 25:12-13, Bozrah. These are all places in the Jordan area. People, you will find nothing in the scriptures where Esau migrated into Europe or Asia.
D1,
okay, you got Obadiah.
D1, I'm sorry, I want to stop you one second. For some reason, I don't know. You're on. You don't gotta mute me. You're on your phone, right? And for some reason, I see it in the comments too. You freeze up. I stopped your time, by the way, so your time is not going. You freeze up every now and then for a couple of seconds. I don't know. How your bars looking? You good? You look good?
Yeah, I'm actually on my house internet.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna let you go, but I'm just letting you know from time to time you're freezing, and they're saying that in the comments. But I apologize for interrupting you. I'm gonna start your time whenever you start again. My bad.
Okay, you could start it. Y'all can hear me good? Just say yeah and start it.
Yeah, you good. Go ahead, bro.
Okay, like I was saying, people, we have to pay attention to Esau's locations. There's nothing in the scriptures that tell you that Esau migrated into Europe or Asia, people. These are the areas that the Japhites took hold of. Okay, again, we have Timon, Dedan, Ezekiel 25:12-13, Bozrah, Isaiah 34:6-10. This is an end time prophecy. It says that Esau was given the fatness of the earth. It says that the area Saudi Arabia is gonna burn from pitch, from tar, from generation to generation. People, we have no historical evidence of this ever happening. So by default, we would have to say, well, when are the Europeans going to go to Saudi Arabia so they could get their prophecy? Okay. And again, we have Isaiah chapter 63, verse 1-3, which most people would link to a prophetic verse of the Messiah saying that it is he who come from Bozrah with his garment stained in blood. Okay, these are Arabian people, and specifically the Bedouins. Okay, and I got to give y'all some information, but I promise y'all on the next round I will be touching on Japheth. Okay, you can go into the Zondervan Bible Dictionary on the dress. All right, it says Esau and Ishmael carried the flag into Arabia for centuries. Okay, I don't want to take up too much time. I just know a lot of this shit from the top of my head. Sorry about your dress. Okay, right here. How you flip this? Okay. I don't know if y'all can see it. I doubt, but it says Esau and Ishmael and their descendants into Arabia, where the Arab continued them through centuries. It says in the same thing, he was through the Bedouin Arab tribes. People, this is facts. You cannot get around it. Okay. This is the Papyrus Anastasi, 1205 BC, mentioned the Bedouin tribes of Edom. You can't get around it. Okay. Papyrus Anastasi 6 contains the following well-known report. We have finished with allowing the Shasu Arab people clans folk of Edom to pass the fort of Medepta that is in Sukkot. Okay. All right. Same thing down here. Information of my lord that we have just let the Shasu Bedouin tribes of Edom pass the fortress of Merneptah. Okay, but I don't want to spend too much time on that. Okay, people. All right, another thing I want to hurry up and touch on. All right, Herod. Herod is very important. Well, before we get to Herod, let me give you some information. People, Esau is not the Romans. Not the Romans. This is historical evidence. Okay, these prophecies were fulfilled. Okay, this is what happened around the 3rd century BC. An Arab tribe called the Nabateans, probably descended from Ishmael's eldest son, Nebaioth. Who is Nebaioth? 1 Chronicles 129. Nebaioth is Esau's brother-in-law. He married Basemeth. These are all Arabian people. Replaced the Edomites, whether by conquest or infiltration, it is not known. But the Edomites were squeezed out their rocky stronghold, and we find them living in the Negev, south of Judah. These people were pushed out of their stronghold, and the Nabateans took over around this time. And then later on, the Romans took over this area. People, the Edomites are not the Romans or any Europeans, I repeat. Okay? They conquered them and forced them to circumcise the Jewish religion. Okay? But the Jews who paid the consequences for this line because Herod the Great came about, and Herod slaughtered the babies. People, Herod the Great was black. Period. You can't get around it. He was an Arabian ruler. Okay. Okay, let me give you a source. Herod, page 345. I'm gonna show you this book. The Handbook of Archaeology and the Bible. Okay. It says right here, this is Joseph Holden. These are scholars, and Norman Geisler. Okay. Herod, which was an Idumean or Arab ruler. Okay. If you get the book, because I have it on PDF, okay. Let me give you the name of this scholar. All right, where did I put this information? All right. The Black Biblical Heritage. Dr. John L. Johnson, page 201. Herod and the Edomites were black people like the Hamitic race. People, these are all black people. Period. All right. Another thing we have to know, when the Romans took over after the Nabateans, okay, the Romans took over Petra. The Romans did all of these carvings into the rock. The Romans actually made a Colosseum and a theater into these rocks. The Romans came and took over that area. Okay. Another thing, Eusebius church history. Herod, People, if these were white people, Herod, this is Eusebius church history, okay? Herod tried to burn the records of the Israelites so he can come back and disguise as a native Israelite. Why? Because he looked it like them. He was a melanated man. So if you want to say Herod was and them Edomites were white, then by default you're saying the Israelites looked white, because it's right here. It says, so Herod, with no Israelite ancestry and pained by his base origins, burned the genealogical records, thinking he would appear of noble birth if no one were able to trace his bloodline from public documents. Game over. Let me give you
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Okay. All right. Josephus. All right. I'm gonna give you this real quick. Do y'all know that the Edomites, in the works of Josephus, okay, 20,000 Edomites joined the Judeans to fight against the Romans? How you gonna get around Josephus? Also, this book, okay, let me give you Josephus Antiquities, book 13, 9-1, paragraph 254 and 257. 20,000 Edomites joined in with the Judeans. Okay, let me give y'all this book, Roman Empire of the Edomite. People, this book is a goddamn lie and it's pseudo. And he do have some historical information in it, though. He mixed it up. This same book tell you Job is Jobab the Edomite. This same book also tells you that Edomites and Israelites would have spoken the same languages. Hebrew. Edomites would probably have spoken Hebrew. So the white man is not known for speaking any Semitic languages. But Arabians are known for speaking. So the white man, an Indo-European language. Okay, this same book tells you the same thing. The Edomites were swallowed up whole after the 1st century. Let me see if I can find it real quick before my time up. And then I'm gonna touch on but I just wanted to bring this stuff out. I can't remember what page it is, but okay, here we go. Hyrcanus, the son of Simon, took others of their cities and reduced them to necessary embracing the religion of the Jews, or leaving their country and seeking habitation else, whereupon they submitted to be circumcised, became proselytes to the Jewish creed, and were incorporated with the church and nation of Jews, and they were swallowed up whole, and their name was in no more remembrance after the 1st century after Christ.
Time. All right. So we've concluded 2 rounds. So we have 1 more round to go of 10 minutes each. I just want to take a moment, first of all, to acknowledge my brother Max Bird up in the audience. Thank you for that donation. I really appreciate it. It's a good brother always. Also, if you're in the house, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you share this video. I'll be taking the next round is going to be the rapid fire round. After we do this last round right here, we're going to do a rapid fire round, and then I'm going to be taking questions from the audience. So make sure y'all stay tuned for that. I see everybody going back and forth in the comments. See people saying things about what YiremiYAH is presenting. I see people taking issue with what D1 is presenting. So make sure that you brothers get your questions ready, because that's coming up real soon. Okay, so with that being said, YiremiYAH, I'm going to bring you back in. For the 3rd round, the floor is yours. Give me 1 second. Let me reset the stopwatch. And the floor is yours. Whenever you're ready, go.
Con. So now we want to trace the patterns of how did Esau get into Europe. We want to trace the patterns. Notice the things that he was going on about the Arabs. Again, I set them in conjunction with the Ashkenazis. Salakia, not the Ashkenazis, but the Khazarians. It read in the 13th tribe. It says the Turkish language groups. Thus, the term Turk is the sense of which it was used by medieval writing, and often also by modern.
refers primarily to language and not to race. It says in this sense, the Huns and the Khazarians were what? Turkish, right? So we're seeing that Ottoman Turk influence as they, and I can go into more on that, but due to time restraints, I want to move on to this here in the breakdown of how the Edomites got into Europe, right? So if we go to the breakdown of Alexander the Great, we know Alexander was a damn white man. We know this for a fact. Me and him, we're not going to argue about that. Alexander was a white man. All right. So it says here in Esther chapter 3, verse 1, it says, after these things did King promote Haman, the son of Hamath, the Agagite, right? And the advanced him and set his seat above all the princes that were with him. This is Esther chapter 3, verse 1. Then now we go on, it says, now who are the descendants of Agag, or the Agagites? 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 2, it says, thus saith the Most High of hosts, I remember that which Amalek did to Israel, how he laid waste for him in the way when he came up from Egypt. Drop down to the 8th verse. And he took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive, and utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword. Verse 9. Now, but Samuel and the people spared Agag. Now Saul and the people spared Agag and the best of the sheep and the oxen and all of the cattle and all of that. Let me move on here. And Agag was a descendant of king of Amalek. So who is Amalek? 1 Chronicles chapter 1, verse 35 through 36, the son of Esau, Eliphaz, Reuel, and Jeus, and Jalam, and Koran, verse 36, the son of Eliphaz, Teman, and Omar, and Zepho, and Gapta, and Kizan, and Timnah, and who? Amalek. So we see the connection with Amalek to Esau, right? As we go and we jump back over to Genesis chapter 36, verse 1 and 8. Now, verse 1, now these are the generations of who? Of Esau, right? Verse 8, thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom. Now we know that the Agagites are Edomites, in specific, the seed of Amalek, Esau's grandson. Now remember, Haman was an Agagite and an Edomite. Now let's connect him as Edomites to Alexander, the son of Philip, right? This is in addition to Esther chapter 16 in the Apocrypha, chapter 16, verse 10. Verse 10 says, for Haman, or it says Ammon, a Macedonian, the son of Amath, being indeed a stranger from the Persian blood and far distant from our goodness, and as a stranger received of us. Drop down to the 13th verse. Having by manifold and cunning deceived, sought of us the destruction as well of Macedon, who saved our life and continually pursue our good, as also of blameless. Esther partaking of our king with their own nation, with their whole nation. Verse 14, for by these means he thought, finding us destitute of friends, to have translated the kingdom of the Persians to who? The Macedonians, right? Here in the Apocrypha, this same Haman, Ammon, is also called a Macedonian. First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 1. And it happened after that, Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Kittim, has smitten Darius, king of Persia, and the Medes, that he reigned in his stead for the first over Greece. So as we can see, brothers and sisters, you making the connection of Esau all the way to Alexander the Great, the Macedonian. So the Edomites were Macedonian. Alexander the Great was a white man. So now we're making these parallels, and we can see these things very clearly, right? So what we want to do now, how much time I got?
My bad. I just have myself muted. So right now you have 4 minutes.
All right, come the water. All right, so as we continue to make these connections, right, I have slides, but it's going to take away from my time, so I'm just going to read it, but I will share these slides with you all, right? So it says here, but for now we're going to go into the ancient people of Europe. What color were the ancient people of Europe? If you brothers and sisters need to look this information up, make yourself familiar with Cheddar Man. DNA shows early Britons had dark skin. It says here, it says, so to come face to face with this guy could have looked like, and that striking combination of the hair, the face, and the eye color and the dark skin, something a few years ago we couldn't have imagined. And yet that's what the that's what the scientific data shows. They found the stones, and aged Britons had what? Dark hair with a small, probably that it was curlier than average, blue eyes, and skin that was probably dark or black in tone. This combination might appear striking to us today, but it was a common appearance in Western Europe during this period, right? The sources are the BBC, the articles of Cheddar Man. DNA shows early Britons had dark skin, right? It says here, Cheddar Man's genome reveals he was closely related to other individuals, so-called Western hunters gatherers, who have been analyzed from Spain, right, or Luxembourg or Hungary. Dutch articles, Alfred Ardon and Kiddens, specialized in modern making, took the genetic findings and combined them with physical measurements from sources of the skulls. The results were strikingly lifelike, reconstructing of a face from our distant past. It says very clearly, brothers and sisters, pale skin probably arrived in Britain with a migration of people from where? The Middle East. I don't know if y'all can see this. From the Middle East, right? Around, let's see, this population had pale skin and brown eyes and absorbed the population like the ones Cheddar Man belonged to. So as we can see, we have scientific data of a migration of white people from the Middle East into Europe, because the original Europeans were people of color. It says introduction of Edom into the Japhetic territories. Meantime, Zepho had won a divisive victory over the African troops that had made an incursion into the land of Kittim, and the people chose him as king. On his return, the people built a great palace for Zepho, and they rewarded his kingship, and he continued unto his death to reign as king of Kittim of Italy. This is Edomites reigning over the people of Japheth, right? So it says here in the rabbinical ages, it says, it is apparent from all this that all the days that the blessed one prospered us, he trodden down the people of Edom beneath us. And while he undermined our tower of strength, Edom girded its loins in might.
Time.
For our siege had already made it clear to us that our present exile is the exile of Edom.
All right. So that's 3 rounds for Brother YiremiYAH.
Style, baby, right?
All
That's how
right.
we do.
All right. So that's 3 rounds in the books for our brother YiremiYAH. So YiremiYAH, go ahead and mute yourself. All right. And we're gonna do the last round from Brother D1. We're gonna bring Brother D1 back in. This is gonna be Brother D1's last round. After that, brothers and sisters, we're gonna do a rapid fire round where the two brothers are gonna have a conversation with each other respectfully. And then after that, we'll take some comments and questions from the audience as well. Brother D1, just give me a moment. Let me reset the. Let me stop the clock and reset it. All right. And once again, brothers and sisters, make sure you like this video, share this video, hit the like button. And if you're not subscribed to Maccabees TV, make sure you subscribe. Okay. We're definitely going to do some more of these debates and discussions on the channel. And, you know what I'm saying? The old man might have to come out of retirement and do one myself because it's been a minute. You know what I'm saying? But that's neither here nor there. With that being said, Brother D1, the floor is yours. Go for it.
All right. Y'all can hear me yet? Yo.
Yeah, you all set, bro. We can hear you perfectly. You good. Go ahead.
Okay. Y'all can. All right. Cool. All right. There you go. It's working good. All right, people. All right. Let me just touch on one or two little things, and I'm going to get on why Japheth is the Europeans of today. First of all, people, just some things I want to touch on about Arabs real quick. People, the reason why Arabs are ranged from light to deep dark skin, people, is because you can read this in Rudolph Windsor's book. Okay. You can also read, I have another book called Slavery in the Arab World, Gordon Murray. Okay. The Arabs, their main route was the Caucasus Mountains. And the European slaves, the Arabs made it with. Okay. This was their main route. Okay. So another thing I want to touch on, people, that King James Bible, people, that is the worst Bible you can ever have. It has a lot of words that are wrong usage. Okay. For instance, dukes, people, all a duke is a chief. It has people. The doing people were close. Okay. Okay. This is an Arab bum. Here, let me reach out this.
Yeah, Brother D1, I'm gonna
inhabit various data part of the rape was thief or the.
Hey D1, I'm gonna stop your timers for a second if you don't mind. Yeah, man, you're freezing up real
Yeah,
bad.
still messing up, huh?
Yeah. I don't know. I stopped your time. I don't know what's happening. You sound good now, but it's like you start going, it'll freeze for like about 30 seconds and it'll pick you back up. So, you know, I'm trying to be as fair as I can and you get your information out. I'm gonna let you go ahead again, but it's freezing. You know, hopefully we can get through this round. So I'm gonna let you go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, cool. Yeah, man, that's crazy, man. I got it linked up to my house internet and shit. I'm working with Cox. I don't even know, but like I was saying, the word Duke. Shoot, I don't know what y'all missed, but the word Duke is actually it's a mistranslated word. It's the King James Bible. Like I said, is a very messed up Bible. There's countless errors in that King James. People, Duke is not referring to anything dealing with white people. Okay, it is actually chiefs. If you go into the older Septuagint, it's chiefs and chief trains. Okay, which the Bedouin people were also called chief trains. Chiefs ran their tribes. Okay, so that's all it's basically speaking of. But why is Japheth the white man? Okay, let's go into. Okay, y'all still hear me good? Can you hear me good, brother?
Yeah, right now you sound good. It was going good.
Okay, cool. Let's go. All right. Jubilees, again,
Hey bro, I don't know if you're talking. You talking?
Jubilee Christian, y'all. Chapter 17. Family, nations, verse 1 through. These are families. So nation of Edomites.
AD1. I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Which they were not invited out, the whole European people. Okay, they were.
Yeah, there's a delay because I'm calling you, and there's a delay because I'm calling you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
I can hear you now.
I can hear you.
The thing is that you cut out for a good minute. I don't know what's happening. You cut out for a good minute. I don't know what was going on with that. So I don't want to short you on any of your time. You opened up the Book of Jubilee and you went to a page, and whatever you were saying when you were at that page, we couldn't hear you. Am I the only one, guys? If you could hear him, if you couldn't hear him, put like one in the chat. Let me know you couldn't hear him because it froze up for me on my end. Did it freeze up for you guys too? If it froze up for you guys too, put one in the chat and let me know. Yeah, everybody's putting one in the chat. I don't know if you can see it. Okay, so Adelpha said 2. Yeah, see all the ones in the chat, bro? I don't know if you can see it. Oh, he went out. We lost him, y'all. We lost him. We lost him. I don't know what happened. Yeah, I'm bringing you back in, your.
I think I think he might be trying to get back in, man. But, yo, man, it's 135 people watching, man. Can we get some thumbs up in here, man? Show the brother some love. Let's go, family.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yo, brother.
Man.
D1, you good? You good? I'm gonna move you back a minute.
I'm trying.
Yeah, hold on a second. You know what? I'm gonna start your time over. I'm gonna go ahead and be fair and just start your time over because you were chopped up, and I don't want your thought to get lost because you were chopped up. So with YiremiYAH's approval, you can go ahead and start your time over.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
All right, so D1, just talk a little bit. Let me make sure I can hear you good.
Yeah, how y'all doing, man? I don't even know what's going on because I'm connected to my house internet. That's crazy.
You sound good now. So what I'm gonna do is, whenever you're ready, hold on. Let me reset this thing. Reset it. You were like 2 minutes in, but we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna reset it. Just start over, and I'm gonna mute myself now. The floor is yours. Let's see what happens.
All right, people. I got to regather my thoughts now. Sorry about that, family. Okay, what some things I want to touch on, people, is the reason why Arabs are light skinned to dark skin. You can read this in Rudolph Windsor's book, okay, on the page where it talks about the Arabs. You can also read this. I have a book called Slavery in the Arab World, Murray Garden, okay? The main route of the Arab people were the Caucasus Mountains. They liked it, the white women, and the white women was actually a lot cheaper to get than the black women. Okay, so eventually, for over 100 years, this led to a lot of whitening of the Arabs. Okay, I just want to touch on that. Another thing too is people. The King James version is a very faulty Bible. The word Duke has nothing to do with referring to white people. If you go into older versions or the concordance, all it means is chiefs or chief trains people. The Bedouin tribes were led by chiefs and chief trains. I actually have this in the book, which I put it up right here. A History of the Arab People. Belknap, Harvard. This book is in a university. This is top of the line stuff, okay? The Bedouin people had chief trains. So why is Japheth the white man? People. Japheth is 15 nations of people. Edomites is one nation. So you telling me that, first of all, there's no scripture saying the Edomites move anywhere into Eurasia. Okay. Jubilees chapter 8. Okay. This is pre-Christian. All right. We can go to Jubilees chapter 8. This is what Jubilees chapter 8 says. All right. Okay. Japheth moved into the cold mountainous regions. All right. Okay. I don't want to go deep. It says, verse 3, chapter 8, verse says, it extends Tina in the north and the boundary of the ones Rapha and Adar. This is the land. You can hear me good? Land for Japheth, the portion that he should have great land for their forever. Japheth was given. I'm good. I'm good, brother.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. All right, cool. Cool. So Japheth was given all the lands of the north. People, this is a map of Japheth. All right. Y'all got to get understanding on geographical locations. Europe, Japheth, Asia, Shem became the Shemites who moved all in the Middle Eastern area. Ham became Africa predominantly, the African people. Okay.
Hey, bro, man. D1. D1. Your mic is muted, King. D1, your mic is muted.
Oh man. Okay, where was I? Okay, again, people.
I'm trying to work with you, King. I don't know what's happening. All right, go ahead. You still got 6 minutes, so go ahead.
Okay, it's unmuted now. Sorry about that. Again, people. Jubilees chapter 8. I don't know what y'all heard. I probably had it mute. Jubilees chapter 8. It says Japheth was given the land of the north forever. Okay, so Japheth moved into Eurasia, Europe, and most of the parts of Asia. Okay, this is a map of, let me see. Okay, this is a map of Japheth, Shem, and Ham. These were the lands. Jubilees chapter 8. Okay, so Japheth was 15 nations. All right, here's another map right here. Okay, this is all Japheth land. Okay, so let me give you some of the nations of Japheth. Okay, this is from the works of Josephus. People, if you move, it's facts. This is scientific facts. If you live closer to the equator, you're going to get more direct sunlight. Your skin is going to be darker. You can't get around these scientific facts. Do you?
Brother.
Get more solar radiation. It's scientific. When you move areas are not, you're gonna be different. Structure eventually will change. Oh man, but okay, so that all these people is that mutations. There's no scripture. So went out there, one nation of people called Edomites, and whited out all these people. Yes, there were some dark-skinned Japhites. Okay, but over time, people, their skin, genetic mutations. What is a genetic mutation? Albinism is a generation. Okay, melanin plants its colors. Your hair, that is melanin. All they do is they melanin. Okay, people white who too white that's in. So what else he spoken? All right. Okay, the Japheth and okay, Tanis along all of Europe and Kadesh, and selling themselves on the lands which they light upon, which none had inhabited before. They called the nations by their own names. For Gomer, founder of whom the Greeks now call Galatians, but were then called Gomerites. Magog founded those that from him were named Magagites, but who are by the Greeks called Scythians. Now, as to Javan and Madai, the sons of Japheth, and Madai came the Medians, who are called the Medes by the Greeks, but from Javan, the Ionians and all of the Grecians are derived people. The Ionians, the Celts, Thobel founded the Thobelites, who are now the Iberies, and people, there's a bunch of more nations in here. But he became the Celts, the Irish people. All of these people are white people. Okay, so let me give you from the ancient Black Hebrews. All right, people, is there such thing as a Caucasian gene? If this gene occurs among Europeans and West Asians, what does not make it a Caucasian gene? This is because this is ancient Black Hebrews, Gert Muller. This is the genetic evidence. This is because many of those genes arose 40,000 to 20,000 years ago. At the time, Eurasians with those genes would have looked closer to sub-Saharans or indigenous Australians. Eurasians around Russia developed pigmentation alleles, which is a genetic mutations for white skin starting around 15,000 years ago. By 8,000 years ago, populations with all the main depigmentation alleles were present in Scandinavia and the rest of Europe from Spain to Hungary. The majority of the population had a sub-Saharan complexion. So this is telling you that many of these people had genetic mutations. And another thing, people, that we have to realize.
Yo, YiremiYAH, we lost him again. You there? D1, you there? The heck?
That white people existed before the character Esau. The character Esau is placed around 1800 and something BC. White people has existed way long before this in these Eurasian continents. And again, Black is a misconception. People, just because we say the word Black doesn't automatically mean it's an African Negro. There's Black Chinese, there's Black Japanese, there's Black Indians, and all of these people range from a dark color to a pale white.
2 minutes, 2 minutes.
Okay. All right. So let me give you some more information on some of the other nations. Okay. You can also go to, people, if you read Jasher, you can go to Jasher chapter 10, just on Japheth. It will tell you Japheth is all of the European nations. Okay. Even the people, even if you don't agree, I don't agree with everything in the Talmud. The Talmud can easily go back to the 2nd century BC. It is a historical book. This book teaches, the rabbis who taught these books taught that Ham was dark like a raven, Shem was also dark, and Japheth became all of the white people. So all of the old school of thoughts, they all taught that these people were Europeans and the white people of today. If this brother can give me some older source that taught, or older rabbi or any of the ancients that taught anything different from that, I would like to see that. But I yield the floor, man, because it was messing up so bad. I probably missed a lot of information I wanted to get out, but I yield the floor for right now.
All right. So that was 3 rounds for both brothers. All praise to the Most High for that. So yeah, you were going in and out a little bit, but it's all good. You know, if we ever do a part 2 or whatever like that, we'll just work it out a little better, so everything is better. I'm not sure if it's on your end. I'm not sure if it's on YouTube's end. We're not sure where it was, so I'm not going to blame you. If you say you had good service, you had good service. You know what I'm saying? So don't worry about it. So what we're going to do now, we're going to go into the rapid fire round. And once we go into the rapid fire round, after that, I'm going to, while you guys are doing the rapid fire round, this is what I want from everybody in the comment section, right? Not yet. I got to get a pen and a piece of paper because Jake is going to just jump, right? I'm going to take down some questions. So while these brothers are going back and forth in the rapid fire round, I'm going to look at the chat. I'm going to take some questions from a few brothers, and I'm going to ask you guys these questions, all right? I'm asking whomever is asking a question in the chat, I need for you to tell me who your question is addressed to. I don't want all questions just for D1, and I don't want all questions just for YiremiYAH. That's not, I need to balance it out. So I might skip some of your questions. If everybody's asking YiremiYAH a question, I'm going to skip some of your questions so I get one for D1 and vice versa. So you brothers can go ahead and you sisters can go ahead and put your questions in the chat. We're going to do a rapid fire round. We'll do this for about, what, 10 minutes or so? So I guess I'm going to bring you brothers both back in. I'm going to take myself out. YiremiYAH, you can, since you went first, right? I'm going to have you now. You can be the first one to ask D1 a question. And D1, you have 2 minutes to answer the question.
All right, man. So clearly, the brother didn't answer none of the damn questions concerning how did the damn Japheth turn white. Where's the description at in the Bible, brothers and sisters, of Japheth being white? Where is that at? My whole stance was to prove that the original people of Europe was a people of color. And then he said something about there were white slaves. You're right. The white slaves was the Edomites coming into those territories. What were we talking about here? The man just he just blew his whole head off with that, man. You understand? So we have to take these things in consideration. There's no scripture that proves, that's given a description of Japheth. I already agreed that Japheth was originally in these lands, and then the Edomites migrated there. And the stuff that I was reading in my last round was rabbinical writings, and I can put that on the screen for everyone to see. All right. So this whole
ask him a question. Go ahead.
This whole thing about people turning white because they're closer to the equator is ridiculous, man. All right. So my question is this: can you show me a scripture that gives a description of Japheth in the Bible anywhere?
Okay, y'all ready for the answer?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I don't know, bro. I was probably getting cut, so my internet was probably being cut so bad. What I was saying is that if the Bible teaches you are what you, I just want to touch on that real quick, but I will answer your question. The Bible teaches you are what your father is, right? Okay, so the Arabs, what I said, main route was the Caucasus Mountains, and they were interbreeding with white slaves, women. So that would not, if you are what your father is, then you're still, if you're a Bedouin Arab, you're still a Bedouin Arab. But okay, to the question on Japheth, no, there is no scripture that describes the color of Japheth. But the thing about that is that you have to go on historical and scientific evidence to prove Japheth is even black. And that's the same thing I have to do to prove he is white. So with that said, I think we're pretty even on that question, on that premise. But go ahead.
Not at all, because I gave you historical records proving that that the original Japhetic people were black, with Cheddar Man, and also I went to the 13th tribe with the original Khazarians being black. It literally says they were black. All right, so I gave you historical reference to prove that, and I gave you a historical reference of Cheddar Man as well being black. What are you talking about?
Right, but do you realize that the Cheddar Man is extinct? Those people are extinct. We are today, scientifically speaking, we are Homo sapiens sapiens. A lot of those people that were original, like the original Europeans that was melanated people, those people are extinct. They don't even exist no more, brother. This is scientific facts. But I would say this:
the original people are a people of color.
Okay,
that's the
YiremiYAH. Okay, YiremiYAH. Yeah. All right, so that was 2 minutes, right? We want to allow everybody to get questions. You guys to get the questions off. So when he gives an answer, you can rebut that. He can rebut that. We'll move on and allow him to ask his question. And if you want to come back to this, you can. So D1, the floor is yours now. You can ask Brother YiremiYAH a question, and he'll have 2 minutes to answer.
Okay, cool. Like I said, I have multiple sources. I don't know if you would agree with it or disagree with it, but would you agree that Esau would have spoken a Semitic language? And then the other question after that, if you do agree that he would have spoken a Semitic language, is there any source where you can prove that European people spoke Semitic languages?
No, I have a source on Latin, right? So I want to share my screen on this, right? I'm going to share my screen. Says loading this page. Give me, family. All right, hold up. Hold up. Okay, through this. Give me please be lenient with me on my time. I'm trying to navigate through the screen. It's taking time to load up. All right. Shout out to the Scholastic Bully, man. Know what I'm talking about? All right. Let's get with a source here. Let's get with a source. Get with a source here. 1 second. 1 second. All right, so here we go with the source. All right, the original Kings. It says, therefore, Don Isaac properly argued on the various herds, nobles, and no kingdom is there, because the head of Rome has not the title of king. In that court are many nobles, the cardinals, Latins. With them, they say the Latin language originated was one of the dukes of Esau. The dukes of Esau in Genesis, Duke Lotan. So that language came from Duke Lotan, the Latin language. All right. I hope that answers your question. It's given a source of family of, that's given a source of Edom having an impact on the language of Rome. That's a direct connection, right? Can you all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you well. So, Brother D1, if you want to respond to his if you want to redirect and respond to his answer, you can go ahead and do that. D1, you there? D1, you're muted, so I don't know if you're talking. You're muted. So if you want to respond to what he just showed, you can respond to it.
All right, so
Brother D1, you there? You there? Going once, going twice. Brother D1, you there? Okay, he just came in on. He came in. I guess he must have got froze out of that joint. Okay, so let me take this one out and put this one in. He got froze out, so he came in under a new one. D1, you good? D1, I see you sitting outside, but you're still muted. Your mic is muted, bro. Your mic is muted. D1, your mic is muted, bro.
That's what happens when the Lion Den champs step in the building, cause complications on their end. You know what I'm saying? That's what happens when you get the smack laid down on your candy ass. You want to ask about the languages and the influence of Edom.
Okay, so let me this is what I'm gonna do. YiremiYAH, this is what I'm gonna do until he comes back in, right? Give me a second. Wait a second. We're at the question and answer period yet, but we're gonna give him a moment to come back in, brothers and sisters. So give me 1 second. You can hear me, right, YiremiYAH?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Okay, hold on a second. Hey,
what about now?
All right, D1, I'm gonna bring you in 1 second. Sarnetta, I'm gonna put you on speaker. The brother can hear you. D1, mute yourself. The brother can hear you.
Cool.
So YiremiYAH.
Okay.
I got brother Sarnetta on the phone. He had a question about your presentation in your first round. So Sarnetta, go ahead and ask him your question.
Yo, peace and black power.
First of all, I want to say thank you, brother Daniela, doing a great job. And I want to say to the brother, when you on your first round, you were showing a black couple that had a quote unquote white baby. And my question to you is, how you going to call the baby white if you are what your father is? The baby just came out light skinned, but the baby's still black. So I would like to ask you, how can the baby be a white baby if you are what your father is?
All right, I got it. I heard him. All right, so we never when we're identifying people, we're looking at characteristics. One thing that was very important with that picture is it showed the different hair follicles, the different texture in hair. It wasn't just like, because black people have albino babies as well, right? I had an albino friend growing up, but guess what? He had woolly hair. You understand? But people argue about whether or not two black parents can have a white child. We are the dominant race. We are the ones with melanin, right? So we are able to create all of the shades of the earth, beginning with black. I believe you would agree to that. The white man comes from us. So that was just a physical example. As far as calling the baby white, no, you are what your parents is. But I was using that picture to prove that two black parents can have a child, have a white child, so-called. That's why we also say so-called white.
You want to respond to that, Sarnetta, or no?
Yes. So you do agree that the child that you showed was a black child?
Well, black, when black is not a race, so with black is an identification mark, right? So if you're looking at the child is what the parents are. If that's what you're asking me, yes, that child is what the parent is. But when we're looking at characteristics and identification mark, if I had to describe that child, then that child would have the appearance of a so-called white person. That same child was in a room with white kids, you won't be able to tell it apart.
So what I want to say is, even in the womb of when when God said He's going to create two nations in the womb, right?
Yeah.
What was the name of the two babies that was in the womb?
Jacob and Esau.
Right. So Esau is of the original child, right? Because his father was an original man. You are what your father is. How can Esau be the white man if you are what your father is?
Well, let's make this clear. White is not a race. White is not a biblical lineage. This is why, and this is what a lot of people get bent out of shape with Tazariak. When Tazariak say that the white man is closer to us genetically than Ham is because we came out of the same parent. Esau is a Hebrew. He's just not an Israelite.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right, brother.
All right, brother Sarnetta. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks.
All right, peace.
Y'all can hear me now, though? Just checking.
Yes, D1, and the floor is yours. All right, you back in. The floor is yours. So you had so YiremiYAH showed a source. Were you able to see the source he showed? I'm going to give you a chance to respond to it. But
yeah,
first,
I saw.
You saw it. Okay, so the floor is yours. You get to respond to it.
Okay, yeah, cool. Okay, but cool. So what I was gonna say is that if all scholars, books are gonna agree that Esau was a Semitic speaking person, then Latin and these other languages are not Semitic languages. And one thing I want to say is that that was a great question, Brother Sarnetta. And I would say to this: if you go into the writings of Enoch, which is considered pre-Christian, it says Noah himself was an albino. So Noah could have passed that gene on to one of those kids very easily. So I see that Brother YiremiYAH is actually in agreement with genetic mutations, because that's what albinism is. It is a genetic mutation. But I just wanted to bring that out, brother. But
yeah, let me respond to that statement real quick with the Noah being an albino. Let's make this very clear, brothers and sisters. Noah, nowhere in the book of Enoch do it say Noah was an albino. That's nowhere in there. It don't say that. But what you can do is look at this, brothers and sisters. This is Songs of Solomon, chapter 5, right? And I want you all to understand this. If you have an understanding that you're claiming that Enoch is the writings of the Hebrews, that means it was translated from Hebrew. So if we go into Songs of Solomon, I want everybody to pay close attention to it, because if he's quoting that source, so let's deal with it. It says here in Songs of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 10, it says, my beloved is white and ruddy, the chief amongst 10,000. When you go into this word white, you look this word up in the Hebrew, it simply means dazzling. It simply means dazzling. Check the records. It just simply means dazzling. So if we go into the book of Enoch, which is translated into the English, and they have that same word white there, and you go into the Hebrew and it simply means dazzling, that means that Enoch was dazzling. Okay? It doesn't mean that he was white. I yield the floor.
Okay. Can I respond to that, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yep. I would say from my personal readings, that's incorrect, because we actually have fragments of Enoch from the Dead Sea Scrolls, people. Lamech, his father, left town and came back, and he thought that his wife had slept with a fallen angel because the baby had looked at white like the fallen angels. This is in the Dead Sea fragments. So y'all need to check into that. So I just wanted to bring that out, brother. But good shit, YiremiYAH, man. Good shit.
Hey, so are you saying that the angels are white?
Bro, the book of Enoch specifically says that if you read the Enoch readings, it said that they were as white as snow. That's why, which again, I was just bringing that out because the fragments basically puts Noah as being specifically, the reason why I would say an albino is because it said he was white as snow, but he still had hair like wool, or he had dreadlocks or locks in his head. So, I mean, that's all I can say concerning that.
I would encourage you to go read it in the Hebrew and challenge me on Songs of Solomon 5 and 10 and see if that word white there is literally white. That means, is the Bible saying that Solomon was white? Okay, it's saying that word white there, look it up, it means dazzling. So if we take that and we translate it over to and you look at that in the Hebrew, it's going to get a little bit different from what you're saying.
Okay. Well, I would say this too. The Songs of Solomon is actually Solomon's wedding to his first wife, which is Shilamite, but they link her to the tribe of Issachar. According to Songs of Solomon, I can't remember the scripture off the top of my head, that same goat hair that you say Esau had, it says his wife had hair like goat. I just wanted to bring that out.
I don't know what you're referring to, but it talks about Solomon's hair in the 11th verse of Songs of Solomon chapter 5. His head is as the most fine gold. What color? How could he be white and be gold? All right. As his head is like the most fine gold, and his locks are bushy and black as a raven, right? So this, you're getting a clear understanding of what Solomon's appearance was. He was not white. You have these white Christian apologetics, white, they have white people actually have a 12-tribe chart themselves, and they go to this scripture, Songs of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 10, to prove Solomon was white.
What I'm saying is that it's Songs of Songs 4, verse 1. That's actually Solomon speaking to his actual wife. But what I'm saying is not everybody in those scriptures had what we would say wool hair. But yeah, you're right on Solomon part. But let's go with some more questions. You know, that's irrelevant, I believe, right now. But go ahead.
It's my turn.
It is. It is.
All right. So as everybody can see, the brother could not produce anything that gives a description of Japheth in the scriptures. Nowhere. Right. So what we have to do is we have to take that in consideration, brothers and sisters. Yet Esau is being described. All right. No other person would have been being described in the scriptures. All right. So we have to take that in consideration. And then we have to look at these characteristics to be able to better identify, as we went through so much more information that I wanted to go into about these characteristics. Right. So but my question is this. Right. When you said, when you spoke about white slaves in Europe, when you spoke about white slaves, who was those white slaves and where they come from?
Okay. According to the books of Jubilees and the geographical location, these are, and I was speaking concerning the Arabs, and I was saying that the Arabs range from light complexion to a very deep dark complexion. But over time, the Arabians around that area, they started lightening up, and a lot of it is due to their main route of buying slaves was the Caucasus Mountain, was Caucasian women. That's basically what I was saying earlier.
Right.
So
So you don't know who these.
One second, YiremiYAH, 1 second. So brothers, I'm sorry because we got distracted when the brother D1 got disconnected. I'm gonna let y'all go right back in. I got some questions from some of the audience, y'all, but I'm still looking for a few more questions. So y'all can still put y'all questions in the chat. All right. I'm writing them down. We got a little distracted. So I got about 6 questions here so far. I need some more questions, especially more questions for brother YiremiYAH, because I was getting a lot of questions for D1. All right, y'all can continue. My bad.
I know sweat. So notice he had made mention about the skin being darker if you're living closer to the equator, and lighter the further you get away from it, which is nonsense. Why? You have white people that's been living in South Africa for hundreds of years, and I don't see any of them. South Africa, you don't get no closer to the equator than that, right? So why haven't these white people that been living in South Africa, why haven't they changed their pigmentation? Why are children continually being born to them as white children, D1?
okay. Again, brother, as I mentioned many times, brother, there is a thing called genetic mutations where there is a faulty gene. And this genetic mutation leads to lightening of people. And again, albinism is I done spoke about that. Albinism is a perfect example because just because you become albino doesn't mean you will lose all of your melanin in your skin.
No. I'm not talking about genetics. I'm talking about the statement you made about living closer to the equator, changing your pigmentation.
Because once you have a genetic mutation, my brother, you can't reverse that genetic mutation. You can't just reverse that genetic mutation, and that's all.
So then you willing to admit that was a false statement you made, because there's black people in Alaska that's been up there for hundreds of years and they have not lost their pigmentation.
Well, again, can you, when you get time, send some pictures about that. But again, I'm all I'm saying is that you're more prone the. So when people who have
You're breaking up, Ak. We can't hear you.
defense again, my brother. It's just a genetic mutation, and this is something you have to research from scientific articles.
That's not what I'm talking about, brother. I'm talking about your statement you made about pigmentation being affected by climate. That's what you said. So you got to retract that statement, bro. That's some made up stuff that don't exist, bro.
And it's not made up, my brother. This is scientifically proven. Science is observation and experimentation, brother. This is tested. This is theories that are tested and proven. So
why is there still white people in Africa?
I can't, my brother. There's white people all over the world. It said Japheth will dwell in the tents of Shem and Ham. So there's going to be white people.
It don't say in the tents of Shem and Ham. And hold up, in the tents of Shem, is that all over the world?
Again, well, I mean, Shemites again. If you follow the biblical paradigm, okay, and the scriptures, these people have mixed these original, which again I believe they are West Asians. They have mixed into various nations of people. Okay, and
I agree with that. I'm talking about the statement about Shem being all over the world. You said that Japheth would dwell in the tents of Tim, but then you in the tents of Shem, but you made a statement that white people are all over the world. Now I would like to challenge you on that based upon Genesis chapter 25, which makes a statement of Genesis 27, which gives you a description of what the blessing of Esau is. Are you familiar with the blessing of Esau? Because you
yes, it was the fatness. It was the fatness of the earth. I touched on that earlier, my brother.
Yeah, I know. You was wrong. Okay, you was wrong.
Oh, okay, so you telling me that the Strong's Concordance doesn't have oil as fatness? And again,
you're wrong. You're wrong.
Okay, all right, brother. Well, I gave the scripture. I gave the scripture concerning that, which is in the book of Isaiah, chapter 34. It says that Saudi Arabia will burn from generation to generation from pitch, which is a prophecy on Esau. But yeah, go ahead.
All right. Would you say that we living in the last days?
I would say that there's no way to tell, because if you go into the New Testament, the Messiah said nobody will know the day or time. So
I'm just talking about, are we living in the last days? The scripture speaks about.
No, I would say we're getting closer. I would say no. I would say we're getting closer. So no.
Okay, so then there's evidence like wars and rumors of wars. You cannot really hear as much about rumors of wars as you do now based upon the internet. So that gives us a greater access worldwide to have more knowledge of what's going on worldwide. So that's an example of we getting closer to the end. Wars and rumors of wars, earthquakes in diverse places, right? These things are happening in the end times. Fires all over the damn place, right?
I would say that that's only true to a degree, because you can read in the Bible of earthquakes, fires. There was Egyptian captivity, there was wars, there was the Assyrian captivity, there was the Babylonian captivity, there was the Persian captivity. So wars has been going on forever, even within the Bible. So that is a false statement to just say, oh, well, now I see.
What time in history did we have access to the knowledge of what's going on worldwide more than we do right now?
No, we have more knowledge because of what? Because of science. The same thing I'm telling you about people living closer to the equator.
It's not what I'm asking you. I'm asking you directly about wars and rumors of wars. How right now in history any other time do we have more knowledge of what's going on worldwide than we do right now?
No, we know more now because we have technology. We have computers, laptops. We can research things very easily right now.
Yes, sir. So that, you know what that is? That's a sign that we have greater capability of knowing what's going on worldwide than ever before. That's evidence that we're living in the last days. So now, what I'm going to read to you out of the Apocrypha real quick. It says, this is 2nd Ezra chapter 6, verse 9. It says, for Esau
is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. If you're saying that the white man is Japheth, that means that we got another captivity that we got to go through before the end time is completed. That means that at some point, Esau has to rise up and take over. So either we're living in the last days now and seeing that the white man is in rulership now. Remember, once you look at Daniel, the prophecy of Daniel, and it talks about the beast, it gives an identification markers of what ruling people will be ruling. And the Japhetic people, the Persians are Japheth. They had their time to rule already. Okay, they had their time already.
All right, so brothers, listen to me. I want you brothers to take this last 2 minutes, right? And I want you brothers to finish off y'all rapid fire. There's a lot of questions coming in, and I know you brothers are going to want to get to this. There's an even amount of questions for you both, and this is probably going to be a large chunk of time. So I want you to finish off your thought, Jeremiah, then we're going to allow D1 to respond to what you said, and let's get to the questions. So finish up what you're saying, Jeremiah. D1, respond real quick. Let's get to these questions. Go ahead.
Yeah, so basically all I'm saying, family, is that there is evidence of end time prophecies fulfilling themselves. Daniel gave a prophecy concerning when these different races of people would be ruling. The Babylonians had their time to rule, right? The Medes and the Persians had their time to rule, right? The Greeks and the Romans had their time to rule. And so now when we're looking at the last and final rulership on the planet, we can see this based upon 2nd Ezra chapter 6, that it says Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed. Go ahead, brother.
Kind. Yeah, definitely. What I would say to that is that many generations of people have died reading the same book and these same prophecies. So we don't know exactly when, I would say, the Edomites is going to completely take over. And what I would say is that if you research the United Arab Emirates and the royal Saudi families, these are all people that come out of the Bedouin tribes. People control the oil. This is a known fact. If you control all people, you control a whole lot of things out here. You can make oil, you make toothpaste, you make rubber, you make gasoline, you make propanes, you make butanes, you make materials for home.
Would you say the Jewish people that's in Jerusalem today and the white man in America are the same people?
The Jewish people that are where?
In Jerusalem.
Say that again. Oh, you talking about the astronauts? They share a lot of the similar DNA. So yes, they basically have a lot of Caucasian DNA in them.
Okay, would you say the Ottoman Turks are so? But you say the Ottoman Turks.
But the thing, right? But the thing about that is that, biblically speaking, Japheth is 15 nations. So all are saying the same thing. All of these people come out of Japheth. This Esau doctrine being the white man, bro, that's some new age shit they started. All right. So again, to that prophecy
from 1853. What are you talking about? How's that new age?
Brother, we talking about Elijah, the rabbi in the Talmud. They've been teaching this shit since goddamn, bruh, since the 6th, 7th century AD, bro.
I got a rabbinical source that says the Romans are Edomites, man. Do you want to see the rabbinical source that I have that says the Romans are Edom?
There's nothing in the Bible. I already gave you sources from Josephus. The Edomites joined with the Jews to fight the Romans. It's impossible that the Edomites are the Romans, but go ahead, teach us, brother.
Let's redirect the energy now. Let's redirect your energy now. Okay, you brothers have done a good job. I appreciate both you brothers'
Hey,
opinion.
good questions, though, YiremiYAH. You're trying to give it to me, my brother. It's all good.
That's the point. That's the point. That's the point. So let's get to some of these questions that were coming up in the chat that I wrote down. I wasn't able to write everybody's down, but what I did was I tried to make it as even as I possibly could, right? So this is what I want y'all brothers to do, because I don't want to keep y'all all night. I want y'all to get back to your families and do what y'all got to do. Let's try to keep these questions brief and concise as we possibly can. No more than 2 minutes to answer a particular question. All right. Starting off with you, Brother D1, right? This comes from our brother Jashub, aka Genesis 49ers, right? This is the question that he asked. In your mind, you can mute your mic. This is directly towards Brother D1. If you want to respond afterwards, you can. So Genesis 49ers asked about Herodotus, right? Because you did mention Herodotus a few times during this debate. He said Herodotus bears record of blacks in the Abkhazia thousands of years. So he's asking you, why haven't those people turned white? If scientifically, if you live in a cold climate, you're going to turn, it's scientifically shown that you're going to turn white by living in a cold climate. Herodotus records that there were black people in Abkhazia for thousands of years. Why didn't those black people turn white? The floor is yours, Brother D1.
All right, good question, my brother. I've never really read that portion of Herodotus. I read a good bit of Herodotus.
Okay.
Again, that's something I would have to look a little more into, because he's saying thousands of years. Herodotus was writing somewhere around the Persian captivity time. So it's definitely something that I can't 100%. I would have to read it for myself and see how factual information is, but it's definitely something that I really can't answer right now because I've never read it out of Herodotus. But go ahead.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. That's an answer. That's fair. So that's something that you reserve answering until he provides you with the exact source. You can read it for yourself. That's fair. So we're not gonna hold you to that. That's fair. Okay. So you can mute your mic. So brother, you can unmute your mic. I got a question from Brother Reggie in the chat. Brother Reggie asks, if Esau was the first white man, how did he produce a nation of white people?
My brother D1 answered that question already through genetic defects, right? And these people were isolated themselves 2 times in history. They isolated themselves. The first time was in Mount Seir. The second time was in the Khazarian Mountains, right? These people were despicable and disgusting. And I want to read something to answer this man's question so you can understand how disgusting these people were. Going into the 13 tribes, I'm in page 38, right? So it says here, it says, they behave like donkeys. They have lost their way. They have no religion which would link them to God, nor are they guided by any reason. They do not worship anything. Instead, they call their headsmen lords. Then it goes on to speak about their women. Their women were no vile. Their women wear no veils in the presence of their men or strangers, nor did the women cover their parts of their body in the presence of people. One day we were standing at the palace. We were standing at the place of Gunzu, and we're sitting around. His wife was also present. And as we conversed, the women uncovered their private parts and scratched themselves, and we all saw it. Thereupon we covered our faces and said, "My God, forgive us." And the husband laughed and said in interpretation
somebody was interpreting for him, telling them, we uncover in the presence so that they might see and restrain yourselves, but it cannot be obtained. This is better than when it is covered up and yet obtainable, right? Then it goes on to speak about their cleanliness. It says, really quickly here, it says, another Turkish tribe, all right, let me see. All right, let me start here. The Bulgate or travelers could not get over the disgust of the Turks. The Guzum did not wash themselves after defecating or urinating, nor did they bathe after certain pollutions, or on other occasions they refused to have anything to do with washing. Primarily in winter, when the Guz commanders in chief took off his luxury coat and donned a new coat the missionaries had brought him, they saw that his undercoat were frayed apart, full of dirt for their customs never took off their garments. They wore their clothes to their bodies until they disintegrated, right? And when you go into Job chapter 30, real quick, this is one scripture. When you go into Job chapter 30, it tells you about these people and how disgusting they was, right? Real quick. Right here it says, but now, Job 30:1, but now they are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock, right? Verse 7, verse 8, they were children of fools, yea, children of base men. They were very viler than the earth, right? So these people were extremely disgusting, dealing with their habits, and also it goes into about their incest and different things of that sort. So, man, yeah, in this book, it tells you their disgusting habits, man.
Excellent, no problem. Mute yourself, Jeremiah. The next question is from Brother D1. I have a question for you because I have two here.
Okay.
And depending on which one I'm going to ask you. Do you have an apocrypha, or do you have access to an apocrypha right now? Somebody asked a question about the apocrypha. If not, I'll ask you the other question.
Yeah, definitely. I do have a couple of apocryphas, but I think you said earlier something about like when they asked a question, if we could kind of piggyback off of like what I'm saying, like you had told Brother Jeremiah, like, do you want to piggyback after Derek try to answer a question? So I would like to just say something.
You want to respond to his response to what he just to that question? All right, go ahead real quick. Go ahead, no problem.
Yeah, I have a couple of apocryphas, definitely, and I could grab them, but I would say this: if Esau was quote unquote a Caucasian man living in Mount Seir in Arabia, could a white man survive in those times? All his descendants, a bunch of them, survive in over 100-something degrees temperatures.
Was you asking a question, or was you answering the question that was asked?
I'm kind of asking, but nobody really have to answer. It's just something to put on people's mind. And also another thing is that y'all have to remember all of Esau's wives were predominantly Hamitic wives. And a question for Brother Jeremiah later would be, he keeps saying the Caucasus.
No.
Oh, okay. I would say this then. Yeah, there's no scripture in the Bible where Edomites moved to the Caucasus Mountains. You won't find it, but I yield the floor. I have apocryphas.
All right, so I have Brother YiremiYAH. He asked you to go to 1 Maccabees chapter 5, if you could.
Okay, cool.
So 1 Maccabees chapter 5, he wants you to break down verse 5 and then jump down to verse 39. So verse 5 and verse 39, he wants your interpretation of what that means.
Okay, cool. I'm going to do it from my phone because it's faster. 1 Maccabees chapter 5. What's the verse?
It's verse 3, and then you're going to jump down to verse 39.
And Judas fought against the children of Esau in Idumea at Acrabatim, because they besieged Israel, and he struck them with great slaughter and brought down their pride and their spoils. Okay. Okay. And well, this is actually prophecy that was being fulfilled. Okay, what's the next verse? I'm gonna break that down.
It was verse 39.
39. Okay, cool. All right, verse 39. All right. And they have hired Arabians to help them and are encamping beyond the brook come against you to battle, and Judas went to meet them. Okay, cool. That's actually in the works of Josephus, people. This is the prophecy of the I read was like 9 or whatever. Okay, this is the prophecy of Malachi and historical evidence that was all fulfilled in the works of Josephus. Matter of fact, you can get that same book that has that faulty cover, Edomite of the Roman Empire, and it has all of these same verses in it to show that Esau was brought down to a small nation. All throughout the scriptures, they took 10,000 Edomites, even in the book of Chronicles, and threw them off the cliff. The Edomites were constantly being reduced to size. Now, the trick he's trying to do is the Arabians. First of all, people, it doesn't specify which Arabians. It just says the Arabians. But there's many Arabians in the scriptures. You have Joktan. You can go to the Strong's Concordance. He is the first Arabian in the scriptures, all the first Arabs. You have Ishmael. Ishmael is Arabs. People, you have Keturah's sons who are Arabs or Arabians. You have the Edomites who are Arabs or Arabians. What is an Arabian? It's a Semitic-speaking people who are an original inhabitant of the Arabian Peninsula. What I mean is that people who inhabited Syria, Iraq, and Arabia, the Arabian tectonic plate. So I hope I answered his question. I yield the floor. And the Nabateans, which came from the bed. They are Arab people. So there's many Arabs in the scripture, but it doesn't specify which Arabians right there. But go ahead. I yield the floor.
One second. YiremiYAH, one second. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes to rebut what he said, and then there's a question for you. All right. So okay, you got 2 minutes. You want the clock? Go.
What was that first scripture that you read, D1?
It was First Maccabees chapter 5 verse. It was verse 3, and then verse 39.
Yeah, man. I think the brother. Well, I mean, I guess. I really don't got nothing to add to that. That's a cold cut, man. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no way you can weasel out of that, man. I mean, I ain't got nothing to say to that, man.
All right, so
that's a great scripture, man. Whoever that brother was, that was powerful.
All right, so we're gonna move on to a question for you. All right, this comes from In Search of Yah. The brother asked you, Esau married Ishmaelite women pursuant to the scriptures. So how is it that he married Ishmaelite women, but the children come out white? So can you explain that, please? That's for you, brother YiremiYAH, please.
Yeah, so again, as the brother had pointed out earlier, D1 answered that question already with the genetic defect that was in a people. There was a scientific genetic defect that was in these people. And they, as the duration of time, once they continue inbreeding that went on, these people are notorious for inbreeding. All you got to do is go look at the white leadership of Britain, London, and you'll look and you'll find out the so-called royal families of Europe, the white people. I'm not talking about, because we know that Europe was taken over in the Dark Ages by the brothers, but these white British families of Europe are notorious for inbreeding. Once you're continually inbreeding, a black melanin can be sponged out. Now, let me give you an example of melanin being sponged out. You have Blake Griffin in the NBA. Blake Griffin's father married a white woman, and they had Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin's father is dark as night, okay? But he married a white woman. Blake Griffin have pale skin and red hair. Then Blake Griffin turned around and married another white woman, or had a child with a white woman, and that child has blonde hair and blue eyes and white skin. So yes, melanin can be sponged out through inbreeding, right? So, and these peoples are notorious for inbreeding. I hope that answers your question.
Shoot. I'm sorry, y'all. I had myself on mute. It did. D1, do you want to rebut what he said to his question, or are you good?
No, because I actually kind of answered that earlier about Arabs' main route being the Caucasus Mountain women. So, I mean,
All right. So
I don't have much to say.
okay, cool. All
Hey,
right.
can
So
I say
the
something
next
real quick,
question,
D1?
yeah, you're
Hey, D1, when I asked you about the white people in the being close to the equator, white people in Africa, you had said something about genetic defect, correct?
Right. Once you have that genetic defect, okay, of albinism, it's not something that you can just reverse by going to the equator, because albinism
Yeah,
is like a disease and it causes cancer. You are prone
yeah,
to cancer with albinism. But yeah.
yeah, yeah. So that's my answer to the question that the brothers asking when they asking about these people marrying women of color. There was a genetic defect that was in Esau, which was passed down to his children, plus inbreeding. So yeah, I yield the floor.
all right. So next question, we're gonna do just a couple more, and I'm gonna let you brothers go. Next question is for you, D1. The floor is yours. This question is from a brother that's a Christian. His name is S. Soril, and he had a question for you concerning Jeremiah the 46th chapter, verses 1 and 2. And I'll just give you a brief rundown while you get the verse. Um, it speaks about the Egyptians being Gentiles. So he's asking you, in a nutshell, are the Japhites, the sons of Japheth, the only Gentiles, or are the Egyptians also considered to be Gentiles pursuant to Jeremiah chapter 46, verse 1 and 2, which I think is actually, I didn't think I ever agreed with the brother. I think it's actually a good question. I won't jump in, but it is a good question. I have that question for a lot of brothers as well. So, brother D1, the floor is yours.
Right, right. Well, the word Gentile in a nutshell means nations. It's basically anybody who is outside of the Abraham or Israelite people. All nations that are outside of those people are basically Gentiles. But when we get closer to, basically, you're a Gentile really based off the circumcision. Okay, that was a covenant given to Abraham, I think, in like Genesis chapter 18 or something like that. Okay. So basically that's really based off of the law, statutes, and commandments. Once you got circumcised and you believe in the same faith of Abraham or the Israelites, you were no longer considered a Gentile, which I can give you many examples of that. You have Achior the Ammonite, who was circumcised. Have, if y'all don't know this, in the book of Maccabees, Antiochus Epiphanes, he became a Jew through the circumcision. If you go into, it's in Maccabees. Like I said, I can't remember it quite off the top of my head. It might be 2 Maccabees, chapter 9, or it's chapter 9, 2, 3, or 4, probably 2. But anyway, you also have the book of Esther, where it says where Esther and the Israelites were going to slaughter all of the Persians and the other nations, and they were scared. There was a feast that was held, and they all got circumcised in the book of Esther, chapter 8, verse 17. If you go into the Septuagint, you need the Septuagint because the Masoretic text actually takes out the word circumcision. So it says they all were circumcised, 127 provinces from India to Egypt, and they all became Jews. Now, people, understand, I'm not saying they became a bloodline Jew. They were converts, or what we would call proselytes. But when you get closer to the New Testament, you're dealing with the Isle of the Gentiles, which is the people of Japheth, which is Javan, the Greeks, and the Roman. It's in Joshua chapter 10. It tells you what nation the Romans came from. Kittim. Okay, so that when you get closer to the New Testament, you're really dealing with the descendants of Japheth. I hope I answered this question.
Yes, you did. Okay, well, I mean, I can't say whether you answered the person's question or not. You answered the question, but I can't say whether they accept the answer or not. All right. YiremiYAH, this is for you. Israelite Prince, you owe me an apology. I don't know why you have absolutely no discipline and you have no patience. I wrote the questions down in the order that they came up when I told brothers to start writing their questions. So spamming me doesn't help your cause. I told you, I got you. And you still spamming me right now. So you owe me an apology because I'm on your question now. Learn to exercise patience. You said I did you dirty. How? The live stream is still going on, and I'm at your question now. So how did I do you dirty? Man, some of you brothers, I tell you what, man, you need to call my number, man, get in class and get some discipline, bro. It's all love, though. Still love you, King, but you need some discipline. Here's your question. This is to you, YiremiYAH. He asked, why do you say that Esau is the so-called white man and not a specific nation of people? In other words, for lack of a better word, I'm going to generalize. For you to say Esau is the white man, that's too general. He's saying that you should be able to specify a specific nation. But you're not saying specific nations of white people. You're saying Esau is the white man. He's asking, why do you say that? It's like, wait, hold up, YiremiYAH, hold up. It's like, Prince, I see your apology. It's all good. We having fun, bro. It's all love. You already know it's love. I just had to get you a little bit because you were spamming me for real. You were spamming me for real, so I had to get you a little bit. Well, we good. Go ahead, YiremiYAH.
Yeah, so first of all, Esau being the white man is not the lineage. The lineage is Esau. Esau is the lineage. So as I've stated from the beginning, that the Ottoman Turks, right, took over Islam, right, during the Ottoman Turk Empire's reign in Saudi Arabia, right? And so you have Esau has mixed his blood in various areas, right? So that's why I say that Esau is the Arab and he is the so-called white man, right? So we're identifying so-called Caucasian people here in America and based upon their lineage, right? Based upon their lineage being connected biblically to Esau. That's their lineage, not the white man. That's just a title and a term that came up recently. But we can connect nations like Rome, like Greek during the time of Alexander the Great, connecting to the Macedonians. I brought all this up in my second round, and I traced them all the way from the Agagites from the time of Haman and Esther. So I have identified the nations that are connected to Esau. We can't hear you, priest.
My bad. D1, I know you've been on for a while, and YiremiYAH, how you brothers doing for time? I'm almost through with my questions because now people are just throwing questions in the chat and not telling me who they asking a question to. I don't know why. I thought I said, tell me who you asking a question to. Nevertheless, D1, how you doing for time? You good?
I'm good, man. We can rock and roll.
Yeah, I got another question. I can answer another question too. I'm just relaxing.
All right, all good. All right, so D1, the next question is for you, right? It comes from Soldier Aparakban, Yahawada. He asked you, what is the mark of Cain, Brother D1? The floor is yours.
All right. That's been a minute, bro. It depends.
Yeah, my apologies, man. I was trying to get caught up in the chat.
Sign for him to. Yeah, can y'all hear me? I know he was talking.
Elder Priest Daniela, can you rephrase the question?
Sure, I'll ask it again, no problem. So the brother Soldier Aparkban Yahweh asked D1, what is the mark of Cain?
Okay, cool. Yeah, okay, yeah, it's been a while since I studied on Cain, but okay, Cain mark was to become a vagabond. And if anybody would kill him, I believe they would be avenged sevenfold. Okay. I know there's contradictions, people. Listen to me very well. Between Jasher and Jubilees, there is contradictions on Cain. Okay. One story, which I would go with the book of Jasher story. And the reason why, because the book of Jasher, again, I will say it, it is dated to the 2nd century, 2nd millennium BCE. So the book of Jasher, people, I'm going to say this. There's nothing ancient about the book of Jasher, people. The book of Jasher is an AD book. I believe the book of Jasher sprung somewhere around 8 to 1800s, or I think scholars, let me give you some information on Jasher, because that's very important, because Jasher tries to say something about Cain looking like an animal, and I believe Lamech and was getting old or something like that in the field, and they thought he was an animal and they killed him. But the book of Jubilee says that Cain's house fell upon him because he killed Abel with a stone. Let me just give you something on the book of Jasher. Again, people, I know we read it. It's got some okay stuff in it, but you have to be very careful with this book. Okay, the book of Jasher, according to the Encyclopedia Judaica, volume 14, page 1099. Jasher was probably written in the 13th century AD. However, some scholars have proposed various dates between the 9th century and 16th century AD. In the early 1800s, Moses Samuel of Liverpool, England, was given a copy of the 1625 AD Hebrew work, Jasher. He found was written in a theological or rabbinical type of Hebrew, which is more classical Hebrew. Samuel translated the text into English and in 1839 sold it to Mordecai Manuel Noah, a Jewish New York publisher who published it in 1840. People, the book of Jasher can probably be possibly. Ain't nothing ancient about it. So I hope I answered his question.
Right. Okay, brothers and sisters, we're going to continue this on. This is going to be, I'm going to call this the overtime session, but I know it's getting a little late on the East.
Hold up, man. I want to chat. You're muted, priest.
Jeremiah, I'm going to bring you right in to respond to what he said. I promise I'll bring you right in. This is what I need right now, brothers and sisters, because on the East Coast, it's almost 9 p.m. So I know I'm going to start losing some people after a while. This is what I want you, brothers and sisters that are still watching, to do. If you feel like Brother YiremiYAH won this debate, I want you to put 1 in the chat. If you feel like Brother D1 won this debate, put 2 in the chat. If you want to see another part of this debate, put 3 in the chat. So 1 for YiremiYAH, 2 for D1, 3 for a draw, which means we got to come back and do it again.
Hey, what's up?
Brothers, just look at the chat. Mute yourselves. Look at the chat. Look at the chat.
Oh, I'm not techie like that, so I really don't know how, but let me look. Oh, crap. Okay. I didn't even know.
It's all right. It's all right. Okay. So I'm seeing 1s and I'm seeing some 3s. Dwayne Joseph. Hey, Dwayne Joseph, you put 0. That wasn't a choice, bro. My man, Dwayne Joseph put 0. That wasn't a choice. I'll talk to you tomorrow, Dwayne. What's going on, man? He said, I'm not picking none of those. All right. Israel, man. I see a 4. That wasn't a choice either. Officer Madabar put in 4. That wasn't a choice either. You brothers are funny.
Can we give a go out presentation?
Now y'all can still listen. We still going if y'all still want to go. And absolutely, when you're ready to go, you're gonna be able to close out. Sure. I have.
Yeah, I just want to close out whenever y'all ready.
You want to close out now?
Oh no, I'm waiting.
No.
I got time.
Go. I just took a vote because it's. I don't know where you are, D1, but I'm on the East Coast is gonna start dropping off. It's almost 9 o'clock here. Some folks got to go to work tomorrow, so that's why I just did a vote. But we can still keep going. I still got some more questions for y'all. Absolutely, I got some more questions.
Okay.
But I just wanted to take a little quick vote. I'm seeing a lot of. I'm seeing some threes in there. People seem like they want to get y'all going here. I know. My brother, man, this the Scholastic Bully, aka Genesis 49ers, man. He's chomping at the bit, ready to get up in here. You know, he wanted to debate Black Jesus Minister, but I don't know if Black Jesus Minister is a friend of yours, D1, but he don't know how to he don't know how to conduct himself. You know, he doesn't know how to conduct himself.
Hey, Jesus, he want you out. He want you, man.
And he can jump off a bridge. Listen, no, I'm gonna say this in front of everybody, and I've been real neutral, but I'm gonna say this in front of everybody, right? I don't know that brother, and him and Jeshua was supposed to have a debate, Genesis 49ers, and I was gonna moderate, and I was gonna be fair, the same way I'm being fair to both of y'all brothers, and I would hope both of y'all said I've been fair to both of y'all. I was gonna be fair. They asked me to come on the platform. I was gonna do the same thing for them. Yo, Black Jesus Minister started calling me every type of nigger in the book. I'm like, brother, I never met you. I don't know you. I never met you. Y'all know, yeah, but see, I don't tolerate that. I don't tolerate
it. I feel you.
I don't tolerate that because I didn't call you a nigger. And the same respect you get, D1, is what he would have got. Same respect. Absolutely. But he doesn't know how to, and he doesn't know how to control himself. So he might want me, but he gotta grow up first. He gotta grow up first, and then we could talk. But nobody gonna get on a debate or a conversation and call me every nigger in the book. And I never met you. I won't honor that. I'm sorry. So he gonna have to hold that. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Yeah, his brothers are saying he's a crackpot. He's a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? He's a lot of things. Because just because I have a certain disposition doesn't mean that if I have a conversation or debate, I host a debate, I'm gonna bring my disposition in. I have a certain disposition right now, but both of you brothers are being treated equally and fairly because that's what we're supposed to do. It's not about me. If I'm in the debate, then I'll bring my position. Until then, I'm gonna respect both of y'all brothers. I respect both of y'all brothers. You know what I'm saying? As researchers and all that. That's what I would do. And I told that brother that, but he couldn't hold himself. So anyway, it's not about that right now. So yeah, when you brothers are ready to close out, y'all let me know. We can do the closing statements, but there's still questions coming in. Brothers and sisters, y'all can still put y'all questions in the comments. I'm still reading them. I think I asked D1 the last question. Am I wrong?
Yeah. It was about what was the mark of Cain?
And right. I wanted to respond to that too.
Yes, go ahead. And then 2 minutes, YiremiYAH, then I have a question for you. Go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, real quick. There's a misconception concerning Jasher and Jubilees on what happened to Cain. When he said, and I believe that wasn't Cain, that was Esau that you was referring to, D1.
Well, there's a contradiction on Esau too. I could tell you. One book says one of the Gadites, he was blind or something, and he cut Esau. And then the other book says something about Jacob accidentally killed. It's a Jubilees and Jasher. Those two stories contradict. Well, what I was trying to make them understand is that Jasher is not the actual ancient book. So it's better to believe Jubilees before you believe Jasher. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that's not a contradiction. The story of Esau is not a contradiction. It says that it says his house fell upon him, and the other says that he was killed by one of his family members, went out hunting and killed him accidentally, right?
Yeah, so that's Cain.
No, that's Esau, brother. That's what I'm telling you.
I'll send you the verses. I'm 100% sure it's Cain. I will send you.
Okay. Even if it's, let's say it's Cain. When you're looking at the
verses, I promise.
Right, no sweat. I'm with you. Even if it is talking about Cain, The differences in Jasher and Jubilees are not a contradiction. One said his house fell on him, and the other says that his family member killed him while hunting. Correct?
Right.
Right.
King,
So
right, definitely.
a man's house is what, D1? What is a man's house? Remember, it says in Nehemiah, said,
what?
As he says, as for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord, right?
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so as for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. So the house that fell upon him could have been his family members killing him in the wilderness. My whole point in bringing that up is that it's not a contradiction. One gives the details of what was the circumstance of the house falling on him, and the other just gives you an overall view of what happened to him by stating his house fell upon him. I just wanted to clear that up because I had that question posed to me a few months ago. I yield the floor.
Okay, cool. All right. So Jeremiah, I think that last question was for you. I believe. I'm y'all going so in sometimes, so into what y'all saying. I'm forgetting the order. I believe that was for you. So this one is for D1. Brother D1, I have a question for you. The brother True Jew. Wait, let me make sure. Oh, Joshua. Okay, I'm sorry. This is the brother from brother Genesis 49 is again. The brother Jeshub Issachar. He said that he said that you stated that Zepho and Esau took over. Wait, you know what? Forget it because I didn't write the whole question down. It went kind of fast. Forget it. I got something else for you. True Jew says the Hebrew dictionary says that Esau is Rome. That's for you, brother D1. The Hebrew dictionary says that Esau is Rome. How do you respond to that?
I would say, what Hebrew dictionary can he give us the source? Is it the Strong Concordance, or what is it? Because we have to see if that source is credible. That's what I would say. I've never read anything in the Strong's Concordance or any Hebrew dictionary. And it just depends on which one he's talking about that says that Esau is wrong. But that's my answer to the question.
All right, that's fair because I wrote the question down the way he wrote it, and he did not tell me which one. So that's fair. So we'll have to come back to that. That's fair. Let me see. Jeshub. Well, they're saying it's the Jewish Encyclopedia. D1, are you familiar with that? They're saying the Jewish Encyclopedia says that too. That Idumea is Rome. Are you familiar with that?
Well, there's a misconception. Okay, I have a couple of sources. Actually, I have the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. I also have the works of Josephus. What Idumea is the Greek dialect for Edomites. You can read this in the works of Josephus. I actually have it underlined.
That's a fact.
Right. It's just a dialect that the Romans called the Edomites Idumeans. That's all it is.
Yeah, but it said that the Edomites are Rome. That's what he wants you to answer, brother.
He'd have to give me the source. I mean, like, where does it say the Edomites are Rome when I specifically gave him Josephus saying that the Edomites
Encyclopedia
joined forces?
Okay, so the brother said he's going to put it in my inbox. True Jew, put it in my inbox on Facebook. Hopefully, we're friends. Put it in my inbox on Facebook. My Facebook page is open, so once I see it, I'll redirect the questions to Brother D1 again. In the meantime, I'll move to Brother Jeremiah. Brother Jeremiah, YiremiYAH asked you, do you believe in the other books? That was the question. So I'm going to assume the other books are talking about the other books outside the Bible, as we have it, the 66 books, and the Apocrypha, those normal books that we all use. Do you believe in the other books as well? For instance, our brother D1 quoted from the book of Jubilees. He quoted from the book of Jasher and other writings. Do you believe in those books as well?
Yes. I when you say believe, the thing is that I read them from time to time. My primary source is the Bible, though, right? So if I come across anything that's contradictory to the Torah, I'm going to go with the Torah, right? But yes, I do read other books, but the Bible and the Torah is my primary source.
Okay. All right. So hopefully that answered your question. Also, I was seeing something. I'm going to give this to you, Jeremiah, as well, because you answered that kind of quick, right? I see brothers putting in here that brother Ari Yahweh, the same brother that asked the question about do you believe in other books, is saying that Esau, if you look at the name Esau, right? They're saying that Esau equals Saudi Arabia. You can see the word Saudi in the word Esau. So it's like Esau is Saudi Arabia. Um, have you heard that doctrine before, and how do you respond to that?
Yes, I want to make this very clear to everyone, man. All right, when you go to the maps and you look at the locations, right? These Negroes already told location, location, location. All right, this is what they say. When you go to the map and you see these areas that Esau resided, some of these areas are in Saudi Arabia. That's a fact. There's no arguing that. You understand? So my whole point is that he didn't just stay there, right? He had migration patterns also. I went through those migration patterns in my debate. I brought forth those information and I traced how these people got there. You understand? So yes, I believe that Esau is the Arab. I also believe he is the white man also, right? But we're talking about those at the very top, dealing with the Ottoman Turks coming down to Saudi Arabia to take over that place, leaving descendants of Esau in power, right? But like the brother D1 said earlier, there are other Arabs. You have the Ishmaelites that are still there, and various other tribes that are still there that can be classified as Arab also. Remember, Arab is not a nation. It's not a nationality. It's not a biblical nationality, right? So, yes, Esau is in some of those locations. I don't argue that. I'm okay with that. But he's also the white man. Let's make it clear. All right. So you Negroes, you white women loving Negroes out there, get it together. All right. Get it together.
You're funny, brother. The floor is yours, but can I ask you? Let me ask you a question, and please take no offense in the question I'm asking you. I want you to respond. It seems like you want to respond to what he said, so I want to give you the floor to respond. People are asking about your nationality, your background. You don't have to answer. I saw a few comments saying that you're Mexican or you're whatever. So I don't know, and you don't have to answer. I'm just saying.
Oh no, I'll answer that, man. That's real simple, brother. We're a mixture. My mom's side is African, and they also have some native, black Native American in them. My dad's side has European. I also heard my dad's side has Cuban, and my dad's side also has African and Native in it. So we just a bunch of mix of things right now, and I assume a lot of it comes from uh, slavery, slave trade, mixed up, rapes, whatever. But I would also say this: I do plan on getting a DNA test because that's how I will uncover and then from there I could say, well, hey, I got 70% Native American, I got 50% European, or I got 50-60% African. You know what I'm saying? Like, so with that said, I could kind of share a portion of a little bit of every nation on this earth. But what I'm saying is that whatever my DNA come back predominantly, that's what basically more of the culture I'm going to lean to. Now, if you ask me, or you seen me in person, or you met me, I'm a nigga, straight up.
You were a Hebrew Israelite, and I told you was gonna come home when I got done with you. All right, you're an Israelite from the tribe of Gad. That's what you are, brother. Stop with the BS. All right,
Yeah, I think we might have I think we're gonna end up falling into more native or more African. One of those two lines is
the
what I.
man
Because
from the tribe of Gad, brothers and sisters. Stop with
right,
the BS, man.
I'm gonna just show you like this is why learning about mixing and because it's factual where they say 3 generations you could actually change your whole race in 3 generations by just to say like this is one of my songs. I'm gonna just throw them on the chat um real quick but just to what I'm saying is now that I have kids with a black woman or African woman, so now our DNA, my DNA, and my kids is getting darker. Now, if they take African wives or whatever, they may get even more darker. So what I'm saying is that it's very important to understand these type of things because you can actually in 3 generations you could actually mix your whole race out. Have a friend. I'm telling y'all, this is facts. He have a black daddy and a white mama. He came out looking in between. He took a white wife. His kids look European. So very important to understand and know people. But
same
hope
thing
that
with
answered the question.
Griffin, man. But you don't
If I
got no
could,
African wife, brother. You got an Israelite wife. Stop with the bullshit, man.
if I could, I'm just gonna tell you. I don't know if you're looking at the chat, brother D1, but people are saying that's why you're taking the stance that you're taking. I don't know if you look at it. You can look at this stuff later. I want to share my screen for 1 second, brother D1. 1 second. I want to share my screen. I was sent some by a brother. He doesn't want to reveal. 1 second. I apologize. Give me 1 second. Y'all. He doesn't want to reveal the source of the book it comes from. I guess he's waiting in case he ever has a debate, right? But I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to have you. I want to make sure you can see this particular source. Share my screen, and I want brother UD1 to. I'm going to read it to you.
Okay.
Okay. If you could. Okay. So this is from a unnamed book, so it's fair if you don't want to respond to it. This is what it says, right? It says, this is Esau in the Hebrew, right? It says Esau, son of Isaac, gent, noun, Esau, Edom, frequently a disguise for Rome, Yoma, and it gives you the Hebrew words there, right? A wicked man that dwelt between two righteous men without adopting their doings, that is Esau. So basically, this source is saying that Esau is Rome also. What say you to this source? You can look at it for a second if you want, then you can respond to the source. It's hard for me because I don't know where it's from, and he said he's not going to give me the
Right.
source.
I would say that the way the writing is on it is definitely not a scholarly source. I could just look at it.
Can I ask you why do you say that?
Because it just seems like the writing is it doesn't seem set up scholarly. It's just that's just my opinion. And I believe that the reason why he is hiding the source is because if he gives the source, he's going to be exposed. So I would say this: I don't agree with that source because I have too many sources, and you cannot get around Josephus saying that the Edomites joined forces with the Judeans to fight the Romans. So why would the Edomites want to fight themselves if they are the Romans? It doesn't make sense. We talking about a historian, Josephus. Okay, and again, I have many other sources. Matter of fact, I'm gonna leave him with this. All you have to do is research John Ludwig Burckhardt. After the first century, the Edomites' name abolished out of existence. The Malachi chapter 1 prophecy was fulfilled. John Burckhardt in 1817, he found Petra. Petra was lying on the dust and dirt. The people he found by Petra, he had to trick them to get them to show him where Petra was the Bedouin nomadic Arab people.
Hey, brother.
And they told him that they had treasure that belongs to them there, but he had to learn Arabic to go to that region. But I'm gonna just say that he tricked the people to show him where Petra was. But he is the man that found Petra in I think it was 1812 or 1817. But go ahead.
One second, Yeremiah. Brother D1, I'd like to ask you a question, and only if you allow me, because I'm the moderator, I really shouldn't, and I'm going to accept whatever answer you give.
Okay.
But since we're subject, I do have a question, just as somebody that studies as well. Earlier in the discussion, you made a statement, and the statement that you made was that the Romans, when they took over Petra over there in Jordan, when the Romans took over Petra, they carved their images and that stuff into the walls of Petra, but it wasn't like that before the Romans got there. And I guess my question to you is, do you have a source that says that? What is the source?
Yes. Okay. Yes. Actually, no, the carvings were there. The Romans did some modifications and they made like a Colosseum. I'm gonna give you the source. Okay. Let's see how okay. This is the archaeology book by David Down. Okay. Pages 64. Let me see. The Edomites, I just want to give you the page. Okay. This is why did Petra come to an end? And this is after the Nabateans, when the Romans occupied the Middle East, but it was not until 106 that the Roman army succeeded in entering the valley. So notice the carved stones. I know in this information, it's been a while since I read it. It speaks about how the Romans took some of these areas and they made a movie theater out of into these rocks. But that's basically the source that I got it from.
Can I say something real quick?
Sure. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah. So the man asked if the Romans and Edom was the same people, why did they go to war with each other? My question is, are you familiar with the wars of the children of Israel from the north and the south warring against each other, being the same people?
Yeah. In the book of the children of Israel, they often did war against each other. Book of Judges, I believe, and wasn't there a time where God dang, I know where is that the northern kingdom or somebody took like 10,000-12,000 of their own people, the Judeans, captives or some shit like that, and they put them in slavery.
Yeah, so you had them also, and then you had the war with the Benjamites warring against Judah as well. So why is it such a hard thing for you to understand Rome going to war with Edom? Why is that something hard to be understood?
Oh, it's not hard to understand, but what I'm saying is that it specifies that these are different people, that Edomites join with Judeans to fight the Romans. So these are different nations.
But the Israelites did the same thing. They did the same thing, brother. So if you can see that in the Hebrew Israelite nation, why is it hard to see it in the Edomite nation? That's not something hard.
Well, it wouldn't be hard for the writers to say that some of the Edomite Romans went against war against other Edomite Romans with the Judeans. I'm pretty sure the writers knew what they were writing.
It's not hard to understand that when they're identifying themselves as the Romans warring against Edom. So that they're being identified, but when you go into the history of Rome, you find out that they were Edom as well. So that's not, my whole point is saying what I'm saying is that that's not a legitimate argument when you see people, even the children of Israel, warring against each other, right? So come on, man, you can't use that as a reasonable argument for them fighting against each other. It don't work.
Right. Well, I would say this: in the New Testament, Edom is mentioned once, which is in the book of Mark, where the Edom and I think it was another bunch of nations, they started following Christ. But that is the same thing Josephus gives in his works. Again, I got it all underlined. He said that a lot of the Edomites got circumcised and took up the Jewish religion. Okay, even under Herod's reign, it's even in the works of Josephus that they were celebrating the Pentecost and they took up all of the Jewish customs. So
yeah, you
again,
see
you know what I'm
that
saying?
right now with the damn white Jews in Jerusalem right now. That's not a surprise. We see them doing that right now. They're trying to take
Okay, but
our identity.
okay, but what I'm saying is I'm not going to place a title just because I want to do that when the book is not saying that Roman Edomites or Edomite Romans went to war against other Romans or Roman Edomites. It just doesn't say that. So I can't say, well, just because I want to believe that, hey, these people are the Romans, I'm going to make my own doctrine and say, hey, they call Edom, but I know they're Romans. It doesn't work like that. And that's all I'm saying.
Okay. At this point, a lot of brothers are putting comments in the questions and stuff in the chat, but they're not really telling me who they're addressed for. I'm assuming. I hate to assume anything, so I'm assuming. So what I'll do is when somebody people are sending me sources as well. So what I'll do is I'll just I'm going to share my screen and I'll ask both of you brothers. This is the fairest way to do it because it wasn't addressed to anybody particularly. So I'm gonna share my screen. And what I'm gonna ask you brothers to do is both of you brothers can look at the source for a second because I was reading it while y'all were talking. So I'm not gonna rush you brothers to answer. Look at this screen right here, and I want you brothers to tell me what you.
Is it buffering? Is this only on my end?
Shit, I don't know what I'm looking. Yeah, it's buffering or something. Yeah, I see a buffering. Yeah.
Yeah, priest, we can't. Your screen is buffering. Can you hear us, priest? Dayala. Buffering, buffering, buffering. We lost him. All right, man. That's probably pretty much it, man. We've been on 3 hours.
Yeah, definitely. Shalom, family. Like, well, I'll wait a little while. Maybe we say our leavings.
Yeah, man. Well, let me say this, man. Peace and black power to the entire nation of Israel. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, my bad, brothers. My computer's freezing. All right. So what I was saying was, I'm getting a lot of people sharing stuff with me in my inbox. What I want brothers and sisters to do, if possible, if you share a source with me, let me check my inbox and see if the brother answered me. If you share a source with me, I need for you to Okay, so the brother shared the source with me now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show the source to you brothers, both of you. And what I want y'all to do is I want you to respond to the source and tell me what you think of it. Now, keep in mind that I know you brothers are just seeing this for the first time. Y'all can hear me, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Keep in mind, I know that both of you brothers are seeing this for the first time, so I don't expect much from you. But I got this question from a brother Ron Ben Israel, and I think I can share it with both of you brothers, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna share this with you, right?
Yeah, I got about another
Okay,
5
so
minutes, man.
okay, cool. All right, so the brother Ron Ben Israel shared this source with me. He said it's from Hold on a second. He said it's from the book is called, hold on. Just want to make sure I get the source. He said it's from a book called On the Origins and Prophetic Destiny of the Tuscans. The Origins and Prophetic Destiny of the Tuscans, right? And you brothers can see this here, right? And you can see that throughout this particular source, several times it mentions Esau with Edom with Rome. Okay, you brothers can see that, especially on the right hand side, right? So you brothers can see that. So I don't know if you brothers want to respond to this or not. As a matter of fact, you know what? We're gonna go ahead. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the brother. We can come back to this, right? Yeremiah, you said you have how much longer you have? You about 5 minutes, you said?
Yeah, 5 or 10 minutes, man.
No, so let's go ahead and let's do the closing. Let's do the closing statements, man. Let's do the closing statements. So since you went first, Jeremiah, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna ask the brother D1 if you can unmute yourself. All right, and yours, and you could take however long you need to go ahead and give your closing statement. The floor is yours, bro.
All right. Shalom, family. First, I want to thank you, brother Jeremiah, for letting me come on, and brother Daniela. You know, this was great debate. I think a lot of great information was brought out. Um, and that's what I believe. I believe it was more about edifying the people than me and brother Jeremiah debating and arguing with each other. So all I would say to the audience and the people is just outweigh the evidence, look at the information, and whatever you see holds more weight. You know, that's the way you need to go with it. You know, but I mean, I don't really have much more to say, y'all. I'm kind of skunked, man. Whew, it's 3 hours, but all I want to say is peace and blessings. Love y'all. Peace and love. Black power. Y'all keep studying. Um, don't stop. You know, and that's the thing is when you stop at a certain point, sometimes you'll get stuck somewhere, and to continue to learn and grow. So again, concerning this doctrine, again, people outweigh the evidence. Look at the geographical locations of Japheth and his descendants being given all the land of the north forever. Look at even in the Bible, it says they call these lands by their names. So you have to look at the names and the nations that sprang from these people. Again, you know, when we speaking about Edomites, we're speaking about one nation of people who was constantly reduced to a small size, as the scriptures prophetically told. Esau is made small among the nations, people. And then we have to look at the end time prophecies of Saudi Arabia burning from pitch in Isaiah chapter 34. We also have to look at the end time prophecy of the Messiah coming from Bozrah in Saudi Arabia, which is Isaiah chapter 63. But those are just some things I want to leave y'all with on your mind to research. And much love, brother Jeremiah and brother Daniela, bro. Much love, man. I appreciate y'all, man. This was great, bro. This was great edification, y'all. Shalom. Yeah, I'll leave it on the floor, my brother.
All right. No, I was muted. Thank you, brother D1. I appreciate you. Your brother Black Jesus could have had this conversation too if he knew how to act like an adult, but he didn't. So all praise to the Most High. The Most High works in mysterious ways. You hear instead. With that being said, I'm going to bring Brother Jeremiah in to give his closing statements. Brother Jeremiah, the floor is yours. Yes.
First and foremost, man, want to give all praise and glory to the Abanawi Yahweh Shema Mashiach Yahushua. Want to give all praise and glory to the Heavenly Father, man. And you know, the information is there. If we continue on with the speculations, then brothers and sisters, we are extending our captivity. We're extending the rule over the children of Israel. We are prolonging it by not understanding that the white man is in rulership right now worldwide. And that's a fact. He's in power worldwide. And he has subgroups worldwide ruling these areas. There's not a coincidence, brothers and sisters, that those that are in power all over the world are of a fairer skin than those that are on the bottom. That's not a coincidence, man. All right. Why? Because Esau is in power. It is his time to rule. All right. The Hebrew Israelites is the youngest nation on the planet, and they are the second to youngest nation. It's their time now. You go back into the different captivities and the different rulership. You go back to the time of the Egyptians ruling, Persians ruling, the Babylonians ruling, the Greeks ruling. You go back, and all of the nations had their time to rule. And it's Esau's time. He said that the blessing of Esau is that he will break the yoke off of his neck, and he will get his opportunity to rule. All right. So to make Esau somebody else, you're setting yourself up for another captivity. And I don't want to go through another captivity. All right. I don't want to see my people suffering any more than they already are. All right. So it was my goal and intentions to bring Brother D1 back to this truth. All right. He has been enticed by those brothers. If you brothers and sisters seen that flyer, on the flyer said he called himself hell-bound heretic. All right, which is ridiculous, man. And so that's what I'm trying to tell the brother as he introduced himself. He said he was a former Hebrew Israelite. So he need to come back to this truth. He need to come back to this understanding and this awakening, because this is the greatest movement on earth, brothers and sisters. All right, is what we have now. And the difference between us and other movements, we believe in law. We believe in order. We believe in setting a man in his proper place in the household. We believe in setting a woman in her proper place in the household. We believe in order and structure within our friendships, within our families. We believe in order. Anybody coming and saying that the law is done away with, they are against what the Most High says, which is we must be obedient unto the Father, right? So this whole thing about Esau, man, we have to be very careful, because a lot of things that came out and a lot of things were not answered. There was no description of Japheth, right? But we see and track the migration of Esau throughout the world. Nowhere in the scripture said Esau would stay only in the Middle East. All right. That's another ridiculous claim. Esau has migrations. You brothers and sisters, research and follow that migration. All right. So with that being said, this is the Lions Den Debate League champ, right? Laying the smack down on that candy ass, and we doing it big in the Lions Den, man. So stay tuned. More to come. Shalom. Are you there? Priest Daniela? Want to say Tuwada to you, man, for hosting too, brother, taking out your time to do this for us, man. I appreciate it sincerely.
Yeah, I'm here, man, and I appreciate you and D1, man. You brothers did a great job. Your brothers were respectful. You brothers showed poise. You were cordial to each other, and the people spoke. I saw the comments. I saw the numbers. People spoke, and the platform is always open to you, as I always tell you. You know what I'm saying? All you gotta do is make a phone call. You got the number. You want to come and get busy. Platform is yours.
That's right.
That's right. You know what I'm saying? You know I'm saying the champ still got his belt, man, as far as I'm concerned. But
that's right.
I'm a neutral. I'm a neutral observer. I'm a neutral observer. Y'all brothers gonna make me get off the goddamn bench. My old ass. I'm like Vince Carter, man. You know what I'm saying? I should have retired a long time ago. Y'all gonna make me get off the bench.
We gotta get somebody on your level though, man. We ain't gonna
ain't gonna be just anybody. It ain't gonna just be anybody. Right. So with that being said, hey YiremiYAH, real quick, tell them where they could reach you. Tell them about your music, whatever you do. Hey yo, man, Israel, I got one of these right here, man.
That's right.
I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm talking about these right here, man. You know what I'm saying? Tell them where they can reach you at Jeremiah.
Yeah, man. Y'all can reach me on YouTube at YiremiYAH World 777 on YouTube. That's YAHWORLD on YouTube. HORS Jacob on Facebook, right? And you can follow me on Instagram at YiremiYAH. Please say the Yah. I'm here to serve, man. I'm doing clothing. I'm doing all types of garments, men's garments, women's garments. We know we're getting ready, but you know, the holy days to come up, man. I'm here to serve, man. Anything I can do for you, man, I'm here to help. And also, man, look, it's a great movement going on with the music, man. We had a hell of a concert down in Dallas. More shows to come, and stay in tune with the movement, man. Right? We got next.
You heard? That's what it do. Your peace out, King. Most High bless you. We'll talk behind the scenes. You got my number. Call me whenever you need me. Heard?
No doubt. Much love.
All right, Jeremiah. Peace. Shalom. Hey, brothers and sisters, thank you for watching Maccabees TV. Yeah, I'm tired. It's been a long debate. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired. Brothers did a great job. So with that being said, I'm about to be out of here. You can support your brother Priest Daniela by hitting the like button, hitting the share button, and also go into my website, Wake Up Jacob 12, Wake Up Jacob the number 12, and supporting the music. And with that being said, I'm about to be out of here. I love y'all, brothers and sisters, and I say shalom.
Something soulful to make your soul full. Let's go. Kind of like this right here. Yeah. Got me feeling some type of way. I told y'all it was musicians that brought me into the truth. Got me up here dancing in the booth. They say the truth shall set you free, give you liberty, trick me. With your lies, you must be kidding me. The end is almost here of this captivity. It's time to repent. They say the truth shall set you free, give you liberty, trick me. With your lies, you must be kidding me. The end is almost here of this captivity. It's time to repent. Now watch this. The blessings, the curses, the lesson, the purpose. When we break God's laws, it's aggression, just worship. Don't do it. The kingdom, the promise, the greatness, the honors. I want to live to see the day when Satan's demolished. Now, one time for my sister on the soul track, showbiz, AG. Can I get a soul clap? Old man is dead, and I don't want to go back 12 times. Eventually, this is bigger than just pro black. Some speak of peace, and some prophesy doom. Moral of the story is prepare for the bridegroom. He may come at night, he may come at high noon. Everything destroyed.